stand with all your might. Ignition shells, reignite, truth to the battle, drop the knife, rebels rise, hear the sound, metal echoes all around.
What's up?
Metal echoes all around.
Oh man, kind of never gets old.
Only if you're playing it loud enough. What's happening, everybody? It is Friday. It is 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? If you're old enough to remember that, then you know.
Right. Yeah.
I hope everybody's staying. I hope everybody's staying warm too. Jesus Christ!
If you're old enough to remember that, you're our people. So
That's right. You exactly are our people. Right.
Oh man. So. Oh, what a wild week.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Metal world. So I know there's been a lot of,
yeah.
News-wise, it's going to be pretty wild. So I mean.
Yeah, Louder Than Life is starting to take shape, so
Yeah,
that's a good thing. Some interesting bands that have been, announced so far, and this is the first week they've been making announcements. So obviously everyone knew Slayer was coming back.
right.
Acid Bath is coming back. They're reuniting. Mudvayne's going to be there.
Mudvayne
is going to be there. Static X is going to be there. So I mean, they're well on their way to announcing all 140 bands, but I mean they're off to a really good start as far as I'm concerned. So.
Yeah, not bad. So
we'll just have to see who's playing on which day. So that'll be the main thing because
Right, yeah, because I'm sure those. I wouldn't. I mean, maybe Mudvayne and Slayer would play on the same day. You never know.
Maybe. But it's still shaping up to be a hell of a 4 days. So.
Yeah. And we actually have a full lineup to talk about on the tour dates. So
yeah, we do.
So I got that.
Nice.
Got that on here. So a lot of stuff to get to. So.
But hope everybody had a great week. Hope everybody had a chance to check out our second interview with Lassie from Never Fade.
Yeah, good stuff.
And you guys got 1 week until the new album Thieves in the Night comes out. Thankfully we were fortunate enough to get a chance to listen to that already, thanks to Lassie sending that to us. That was very gracious of him to do that.
Yeah.
So it's a good album. It's a very good album. It's a nice step forward for them. I think it's put together really well, and I think a lot of like traditional heavy metal fans are gonna. I think they're really gonna like it.
Well, the thing is I think a lot of different types of metal fans are going to like it. I mean, I think traditional, and I also think some of the symphonic, metal bands might enjoy
a little bit
it.
of that in there.
I mean, I think it's power metal maybe. I think a lot of those fans might enjoy it too.
Yeah.
So
they're definitely.
That's what I like about it. It kind of doesn't speak to one certain genre, which I mean, I think it's what you kind of have to do nowadays. You think about how music's evolved so much. You think about when we grew up in the 80s, it was kind of, you heard something on the radio and you knew, oh, that's Dokken or that's Scorpions or that's Metallica. You knew because, they didn't have to change up too much. And I think, this is what makes Metallica so good. Like, people may hate them, that's fine. But this is what makes them so good is because they've had to transition through all of this over the last 40 years to stay relevant. And here we are still selling out stadiums. So I mean, obviously they've done what they needed to do to stay, relevant to 4 generations of people at this point.
That is true. 40 years is a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does kind of seem to be the fashionable thing to Metallica bash right now. And I mean, we're both realistic. I mean, they're not. They're not the thrash band that they used to be in the 80s.
Well,
but they're all 60 plus now.
Right.
Their career has evolved, the sound has changed, but I mean they've still put out good music over the years. I mean, granted, Death Magnetic isn't Kill 'Em All, and 72 Seasons isn't Master of Puppets, and so I mean, you're not going to get the same thing for 40 straight years. So.
I still think their best album since the Black Album was the Hardwired. I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty solid album to me.
Yeah, Hardwired was really, really good.
So, like I said, 72 seasons was okay. I mean, it
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
like I
fine.
said. Like I said, it's like the thing is you're going to compare it to the album before. I mean, that's kind of
Sure.
because that's the freshest thing on your mind.
Yep.
It's and as far as like Metallica fans, we followed them since Kill 'Em All, so
Hmm.
it's kind of like we got all those albums, so it's kind of like we're basing it on everything. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like and like I said, we got to be realistic and realize they're not going to go out. You're not going to go to a concert. If you go to a concert and hear Orion, please record it because I don't think they would ever play that live. I mean, I don't think they could. Like,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
that would take a little bit of research to see if they've ever to see if they ever have, and if they have,
mhm.
when the last time it was, because it's probably been a minute.
Well, I know I heard it in '96, so
Okay, well there you
that's
go.
So I mean, if they've
That's
done it
coming up
since
on 30
then,
years. Yeah.
yeah. If it's been since then, I don't know because I haven't. I've only seen them one other time since then. So of course they were. It was in '17 during the Hardwire
Mhm.
tour, so it's the same concert you went to. So
Right.
it's kind of they played 17, 18 songs. It wasn't a 30 song set like back in the '90s. So
Right. Yeah.
so so, and I think that they felt like during the tour I went to, Alice in Chains was supposed to open. Lane Staley was on a rehab you know stint again, so they weren't there. So I think that what Metallica did was say, hey, let's just play an extra hour or so just to make sure people are satisfied.
Right.
And that's kind of the band they were then. I don't know if they would do that now. Maybe I don't know. I mean,
Hard to say because
possibly. I mean,
I mean,
if they feel like they got it in them, they might.
yeah. I mean, they might. I mean, they did play that. I can't remember where it was, but they did play that one concert in the rain. So it's not like
That's true. Yeah.
So they did play in the rain. So I mean, like you say, if they felt up to it, I'm sure they would. So and I'm actually I'm still holding out hope of going to that Metallica show this year. I just don't know.
Oh man,
I just don't know if it,
that's a little
I,
bit too pricey
I
for my
know,
blood.
I know. I just don't.
So,
I don't know if it's going to be in the cards finance wise because I don't know. I'm still having a hard time with it because Kayla sent me a screenshot. She sent me a screenshot of like the seating chart at Nissan Stadium,
hmm
and I'd have to pull it up, but there were a couple of sections spotlighted at different price points and everything. So I don't know.
right.
I'm still going back and forth on it. I'm trying to justify it. I'm still probably like 70-30 not going, but
hmm
but I still want to go. With it
Yeah.
being Metallica and Pantera, I mean, I just really,
Yes.
really, really want to go. I just don't know if I can justify the ticket cost. I
Yeah.
don't know. Which is disappointing, and I do blame Metallica a little bit for it. I do. I mean, I do.
Well, I mean,
So
what? So the thing is like people don't understand is like, we talked about this during that little segment we talked about with the touring of
hmm
bands and artists this year where Taylor Swift had done made all this money or whatever, but
sure,
she also did 120 more shows than Metallica did. So I mean,
right.
Metallica was in 10th place
hmm
at this point. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
if they would have did another 120 shows, Taylor Swift probably wouldn't be on the top. I mean,
yeah,
because for one, I mean that if you're looking at ticket prices to that stadium tour, what's it going to be like overseas? You know what I mean? I mean
uh huh,
that's a whole different ballgame when you're trying to convert U.S. dollars to euros and
hmm
whatnot.
and
So
whatever, yeah, whatever
yen or
currency,
wherever
yeah,
they go,
right,
So
whatever currency you're
so
talking about, yeah,
it's a big difference. So people need to understand that. Like and good for Metallica. Metallica can go out and do 80 shows a year and make a living. So I mean, good for them. A lot of bands don't get to do that. So.
right.
There's a lot of bands we talk to that wish they could do 80 shows. So,
That would do 80 shows in a heartbeat. Absolutely, yeah,
exactly,
absolutely,
yeah. So good for them. So
yeah.
speaking of concerts, I don't know if you've seen, but I got tickets to the Bullet for My Valentine Trivium tour, and I got tickets to see Killswitch. So I got
I
those two. I got those two in my belt. So
I actually, because Kayla's birthday's coming up on Monday, and
oh yeah, okay.
so yes, I mean we'll talk about it on next week's segment. But her birthday present was Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium tickets, so I got those
Oh,
too. So
nice.
yep.
Cool. Hell
So
yeah.
so we're ready to go for that. Don't know about the Killswitch tour. That one, I'm hoping to go to that too. I'll kind of keep you posted on that. But we're good to go for Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine. And like I say, I'm still holding out hope for Metallica, but it's not looking good. So
Yeah. Well,
and then
and another band just announced that we'll probably wind up going to, but we'll talk about that in the because I actually got that one for the
sure.
tour date segment, hitting the road segment there. So that's
Yep.
kind of
Don't
the only
need
two
don't
things I have. Yeah, we don't want
don't
to get ahead of
yeah,
ourselves.
we don't want to get too far ahead. That's right.
So, so anyway, I guess with that being said, we need to kick into this thing since
Yeah, we do.
I decided to go ahead and do two weeks of birthdays since we missed last week, of course,
Sure.
due to the interview. So
Mhm.
I want to make sure everybody gets mentioned that mainly because there's a lot of smaller bands on this too that we follow that give shout outs to their members and stuff.
Absolutely.
And we like
Yeah.
to pass that along too. So everybody's not Metallica and Megadeth. We do try to fill in, get the other bands that are up and coming their due because that's kind of what we do here.
I
So,
really and I think for just two guys, I think we actually do a pretty good job. I really do. I think we do a pretty comprehensive job.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, I got a couple of different things and we follow different bands too, so that helps too. That
Right.
you follow some bands and we're like, okay, I don't think Jason follows this one. I better write this down for him.
Right.
Or, whatever. And that's cool that we kind of do that. So.
Yep.
And then we kind of get some of our stuff from the same places for the most part, but there are a couple of different outlets that we use separate, different, so that we like. So
Yep. We got to try. We got to try to cast the net as wide as we can between the two of us.
well, yeah. So at some point we need to get an administrator just to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you're the website and stuff. Just handle our socials, and we're going to do the work. So
Right.
because I mean, if you think about it, two guys are doing, Facebook and Instagram and everything you see strolling across the bottom there that we're on, we're posting to that pretty much regularly every week, and then at least once a week I try to get on the radio station and download music for it. So I mean it's a never ending cycle. It seems like
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
and to hear people like tell us that we appreciate what we're doing, man, that's the reward for me. Maybe like I said, if at one point we get to where we think we can do a couple dollars, and then here and there, then we'll try to do that. But we're not at the point where we can do any of that yet because we don't. We're getting close to 1,000 followers. So I mean, we once we get to there, then we can start talking about that. But until then, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, we'll just. Yeah, I mean, that's
make our family bigger and better. And,
yeah, those are all bridges we cross as they.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
The whole thing is like I think I posted this on Facebook is actually I might have to go back and look at because I can't remember actually how I wrote it because I had to like reword it twice to make it make sense. So it was it was kind of.
So we excuse me. I've been up since 4:30. But
I said don't let your goals become a thing you talk about. Make it become the thing you do. So, and that's kind of I heard that from somewhere else, and I said, man, I really should post that because there's a lot of people out there that keep saying, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. Well, quit talking about wanting to do it and try it because that's the thing is like we wanted to do this and we talked about it for. I don't even think we talked about it for like a month, and then we made it happen.
Yeah.
And then it blew up a lot faster than we thought it would, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's definitely it's something that we enjoy doing. It's our love for the metal industry and the music business and whatnot, and and we love meeting new people. So we've met a lot of people through this too.
So I mean,
so
ridiculous amount of people.
We've whenever we get a chance, we like to go out and see some of the bands that we talk to. So I mean, that's always a good thing to show them that we support them outside of the podcast. So. Right. If we're able to do that, then we'd love to do that. But I know one coming up that we talked about we may not get to do, but I really wanted to. But
yeah, I know, me too.
But I'm kind of like on the fence about it now because I think one of the band members from Venom like took took a hiatus or something, or I don't know. I thought I read something about
Uh,
that, so I'm not sure if it's still Venom Inc. or
I
whatever. I can't remember.
I think so. I'd have to look
They,
back.
they may have they may
Look
have
back
gotten a
at the
fill in.
details.
I don't know, but
Yeah, I may have to take a look back at the details on that, but yeah, I think you might be right.
yeah. So hopefully they still do the show just for the sake of Salem's Child, or so we
Hmm.
want to make they needed the exposure. So
Yeah,
Venom, I think Venom Inc.'s doing just fine since
they are.
they're former members of Venom. So
Yeah.
of course that band's been around for a long time. So all right, I guess we'll roll into this birthday segment here. So going back to January the 11th, and then leading up to the day the 24th. So pretty good list here.
Hmm.
January the 11th, I only had the one. I had Yale Horowitz. She's the vocalist for Stormbound, which is another band that's kind of up and coming. If you get
Yeah.
a chance to check them out, go ahead. So,
Yeah, we're following them on Instagram.
hmm
Unfortunately, like everything I've seen, I don't think they've ever gotten over here. I don't think they've had it. I don't think
No, I don't think so yet.
I don't
So
think they've had a
yeah,
chance to come to North America yet, which is kind of unfortunate. But hopefully
yeah.
they'll get there.
Yeah, like I said, we've talked to bands from over in that area that talks about how challenging it is to do a tour over here. So, uh, you know, so
Absolutely.
you know, so anyway, January 12th we had Rob Zombie, of course, vocalist for White Zombie, and his band Rob Zombie. Zach De La Rocha, vocalist for Rage Against the Machine. January 13th we had James Lomenzo, bassist for you know where you want to start. Kind
This
of. I mean,
Megadeth. This
yeah.
Megadeth.
White Lion, David Lee Roth, Megadeth from 2006 to 2010. So I mean,
And
he's been
currently.
yeah. It's right. So back again. Definitely been around for a while, and with some pretty big name bands too, especially
Right.
from the '80s era. So then we had Tim Kelly, guitarist for Slaughter, who unfortunately passed away in '98, which is unfortunate, man, because I feel like that was like the point where Slaughter was kind of like booming. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
In the '90s, right before the 2000s hit. So we had Jason James, bassist for Bullet for My Valentine from 2003 to 2015. And then Marco Hatala, bassist and vocalist for Nightwish. Hopefully I said that name right. So, then January 14th, we had Jeff Tate, vocalist for Queensryche, of course. And then now
Hmm.
I think Operation Mindcrime or whatever his band is now. I think that's what it's called.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I think you're right.
Then we have Mike Tramp, vocalist for White Lion. So hey, White Lion getting some love this week.
Yeah.
Then we had Zach Wild, guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne and Black Label Society.
And Steel Dragon.
Yeah, still Dragon. Wonder if I wonder if how many people out there know his real name.
Zach Wild's real name?
Yeah,
Not. I don't know it off. I don't know it right off the top of my head.
Jeffrey Wylant. So now we know
Okay.
why. Yeah. So now we know why he's that wild. So
Yep.
uh, it'd be just another Jeffrey, right? I mean,
Yep. His name Jeff.
it's my name's Jeff. Yeah. Then last on the January 14th, we had Dave Grohl, of course, drummer, songwriter, guitarist. Depends on what band you're talking about. Nirvana, Foo Fighters, and Dream Widow, of course. If you haven't checked out Dream Widow, that is death metal Foo Fighters. So you in that
Yep.
realm of music, definitely check that one out. I actually like that myself. So
Yep.
pretty good album. So
Yep. Death metal Foo Fighters does exist.
definitely a strange movie, but soundtrack was good.
I still haven't seen the movie yet. I need to
Yeah,
see
it's definitely B movie stuff, but it was still
I,
entertaining. It
that
was
was
still entertaining.
probably intentional, but
Oh, well, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
but
they were
yeah, I
just
still
out there
haven't.
having fun. So,
Yeah, I still haven't had a chance to watch that. I need
and
to.
January 15th, we had Kronos, vocalist and bassist for Venom. Speaking of Venom, then we
Right.
had Carl McCoy, vocalist for Fields of the Nephilim. Adam Jones, bassist for Tool, and then Biff Byford, vocalist for Saxon. January 16th, we had Fat Mike, singer, bassist, guitarist, keyboardist for NOFX. Johnny Wallace, bassist for War Curse, which is another band we kind of follow, and actually was trying to get on the show. The dates just never fell in
Mhm.
place for both of us. So, but it's all good. We still out there supporting them because they're a good band. So
Oh yeah.
January 17th, we had Kai Hansen, guitarist and vocalist for Halloween and Gamma Ray. This one's John Wasaki, drummer for Stained from 95 to 2011, and of course the drummer for Lydia's Castle, and he passed away last year. So, which kind of to us it meant a little something because we actually interviewed John at the Rockin' Pod in 23. So
good dude.
It's a good dude, man. I hated to see that pass, and man, that was really that was really kind of unexpected to us.
Absolutely
anyway.
unexpected.
Sure, so.
Oh man,
That's crazy. So, also on the 17th, we had Alex Varkatsas, vocalist for Atreyu. I probably butchered that name, but it's okay. Then we have Simone Simons, vocalist for Epica. January 18th, we had Jonathan Davis, vocalist for Korn, of course. And then January 19th, we had Jeff Pilson, bassist for Dokken from 83 to 88 and 95 to 2000, and then from 93 to 2004. I don't know why I was thinking. Hold on. I thought I wrote this down, but I guess I didn't. Okay, no, it wasn't him. Okay. Then Whitfield Crane, vocalist for Ugly Kid Joe. And then January 20th, we had Ian Hill, bassist for Judas Priest. Paul Stanley, guitarist, songwriter, and vocalist for Kiss. We had Greg Kay, bassist for The Offspring from 84 to 2018. Tracy Guns, guitarist and songwriter for LA Guns. Also, I kind of know why he changed his name because I didn't know that was his last name. His last name is Ulrich, so Tracy Ulrich. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So definitely don't want to confuse with the female comedian. So, oh man, I've seen that and I'm like, wow, that's probably why he went with guns, I guess. So, and we had Sid Wilson, turntablist for Slipknot, Rob Borden, drummer for Linkin Park, Matthew Tuck, vocalist and guitarist for Bullet for My Valentine, and Derek Green, vocalist for Sepultura. January 21st, we had. January 21st, we had Cordell Crockett, bassist for Ugly Kid Joe. There's some Ugly Kid Joe love too. Look.
Yeah, I know it's weird how there's
they're kind of close together. Yeah. So, Mike Tarana, drummer for Empire, Chryson, and Razorback. All three bands still active, by the way, which was crazy to think that he's still in all three bands. January 22nd, we had Steve Riley, drummer for LA Guns and Wasp, and unfortunately he passed away in 2023. We had Steve Adler, drummer and songwriter for Guns N' Roses from 1985 to 1990. Ben Moody, guitarist for Evanescence from 1995 to 2003. And Justin Roth, guitarist for Warcurse. So Warcurse getting some double love this week too.
Yeah.
So check out that band. So there you go. January 20th. We're doing our part, man. That's all.
Yeah, we are.
So, January 23rd, Samson Astala, a drummer for Lordy. January 24th, which is today, we had Nigel Glockler, drummer for Saxon, John Mayung, bassist for Dream Theater, Michael Kiske, vocalist for Halloween from 1986 to 1993, and then rejoined in 2016 to the present. And I honestly think this is the best Halloween lineup they've had. So, in my opinion,
well, I mean, when you have all three singers in the group at the same time, that's hard to beat.
That's pretty badass.
Really.
Then we had Withold Kiltika. I guess that's right. Drummer for Decapitated. Unfortunately he passed away in 2007. So I hate that I can't get that right and going. He's gone. So
right.
No disrespect. Just can't.
No, none intended.
So hopefully I got it as close as possible. So that is all the birthdays I had. I don't know if you had any more band members to add there. So
nope.
But I do want to give a shout out because this was after the show the day after the show last week. My daughter had a birthday on the 19th, Alyssa. Yep. So happy birthday to my daughter there. So
happy birthday to Alyssa.
We'll be doing this again next week for your daughter. Yeah. I didn't realize they were that close together. That's crazy. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, happy birthday to everyone.
Yeah. And if you're listening out there and had a birthday, happy birthday to you. So.
Yes.
All right, I guess we will get into this crazy whirlwind of news, man. So.
It was quite the week, and unfortunately, we have to start off this week the same way we did a couple weeks ago with with a trio of passings. Definitely not how we like to start the current events segment, but you do what you have to do. So
Right.
starting off this week over at blabbermouth.net, legendary English guitarist John Sykes, Tigers of Pantang, Thin Lizzy, Whitesnake, Blue Murder, and Sykes has died at the age of 65. On Monday, January 20th, the following statement was posted on Sykes' social media. Quote, "It is with great sorrow we share that John Sykes has passed away after a hard-fought battle of cancer. He will be remembered by many as a man with exceptional musical talent, but for those who didn't know him personally, he was thoughtful, kind, and charismatic man whose presence lit up the room. He certainly marched to the beat of his own drum and always pulled for the underdog. In his final days, he spoke of his sincere love and gratitude for his fans who stuck by him through all these years. While the impact of his loss is profound and the mood somber, we hope the light of his memory will extinguish the shadow of his absence." End quote. Back in July of 21, Sykes released the official Parker Tebow produced music video for a new song called Out Alive. The track, which was recorded at least 4 years ago, was expected to appear on Sykes' long-awaited new solo album, Psyops. Out Alive was the second song from Psyops to be released in 2021. Back in January of 2021, Sykes dropped a video for Dawning of a Brand New Day, also produced by Tebow, with additional footage courtesy of Natasha Gregory and James Sykes. So he had some stuff going on. Hopefully we'll get to see some of it. Hopefully it'll see the light of day, even though he is no longer with us. So, but just the bands he was in.
Right.
Thin Lizzy. Tigers of Pantang. They were a
Whitesnake.
member of the new wave of British heavy metal. Then you got Thin Lizzy. You got Whitesnake. You got Blue Murder. So you talk about a guy who was responsible for some
I
all
think,
timers.
and I think he
And the
started,
funny
and I think
and
he started Blue Murder, didn't he? I think he formed that band.
I'd have to check that. But the funny thing is he also co-wrote 9 of the tracks on Whitesnake's 1987 self-titled album.
Oh yeah,
He
which was one of their
wrote
best
Still of
albums.
the
Yeah,
he wrote Still of the Night and Is This Love.
man, two of the
So
biggest hits.
like I say, you talk about some all timers. This guy's been a part of some iconic stuff.
Man, yeah, it was that was a rough one to see, man. That's you know, like I said, we never want to see anybody pass away. Unfortunately, that's part of life. But
Yeah.
to see somebody that was kind of an icon growing in your while you were growing up
Hmm.
and that kind of thing to pass away, and it kind of hits you how old you are, I guess, at that point too. It's like, yeah, he really was it's like he was that old,
Yeah.
really, but
Right. Yeah, it didn't seem like it. Didn't
yeah,
seem like
it's like,
it. And then and which, by the way, shout out to our buddy Dana, because he was the one who actually kind of
right, yeah.
first told us about it. We would have seen it eventually, but Dana was the first one who kind of broke the news to us. So hats off to him for that. Hello in the chat. Hello in the Twitch chat to Logan Lou 9999. Thanks for joining the show. It looks like you may have asked a question, but I don't know if you got it all out. So if you want to re-ask that, we appreciate it. But yeah, so unfortunately, one of the influential members of the 1980s is no longer with us. But it's one of those things we talked about, man. That musical legacy is going to live on forever.
Yeah, yeah. You can always hear him whether he's with us or not. So
Yep.
kind of the situation with us now being on all this YouTube and stuff like that. If you know, and I looked at it when we started doing this. I said, I never thought about it like that, but
Hmm.
I'm actually creating something to where my grandkids' kids, if I'm not alive at that point, can
Yeah.
go back and hear my voice. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Saying this is your grandpa. He did this.
Yeah. This is
Or
yeah.
go
This
back
is
or go back and look at wrestling videos on YouTube. Hey, that's your
yeah.
grandfather. So
Yeah.
or your great grandpa or something. So, I mean, it's pretty cool to have that. Even though you're not famous, you know what I mean. Of course, if you're famous, you're just
Right.
going to have that much more out there. But
Right.
just not being a famous person and still have that for your family going forward that's a pretty amazing thing about internet.
Hmm.
I think if there's any positive thing to come of it, that would be it. Just be able to have your legacy live on through videos. So
Yeah. That is
and you don't
true.
and you don't have to keep it on a little 8 millimeter tape somewhere. So
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, which I still have some of those, by the way. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy, but I don't know what I would play it on. But
Well, you could always have them. You could always have them converted. I don't know how much
Yeah,
that costs, but
yeah. Well, I actually, I got a lot on my plate right now with the podcast and stuff. As
no, of
we,
course.
we talked about before the show with the t-shirts. The t-shirts are damn near finalized. Thank God. So we will be unveiling them very soon. I know we've been talking about this for so long, and like I feel so bad of but it's definitely a journey trying to get everything just right. So,
Yeah.
you don't want to, I'm that kind of person. I don't want to put out stuff that I wouldn't wear myself. You know what I mean? I don't want to see
Oh,
somebody
absolutely
out.
not.
I
No.
don't want to see somebody out wearing my shit and be like, God, I can't believe I sold that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's something you don't want to say. That's something you were like, I want to see it out and be going, man, that's a badass shirt, dude. I'm glad we did that design. You know what I mean? That's kind of
Right.
what I want to look at. So,
Well, and
speaking
I want people
speaking
to.
of which, the 2024 design is being worked on, by the way.
Yep.
So hopefully, we'll get something out of that for too long, and depending on price wise, whether we go with it or not, but we'll see.
Right.
But definitely wanted some. Like I had an idea of what I wanted, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere, and the person that I wanted to reach out to do the drawing for me, that I know would do it for me reasonably because we're good friends. He actually had shoulder surgery, so I'm just like, well,
Oh, okay. I got
he
you.
can't draw right now, so we'll see what this guy's going to charge us and roll that way. Because I mean, he does awesome work for the bands that we know he does drawings for. So
Yes.
so we'll see what comes of that. Anyway, I know we got off track there, but
That's.
you
I
know,
mean, it happens.
yeah. So, but anyway, John Sykes passing away is a pretty
Yeah.
big deal. So,
Yeah, it's a very big deal.
so man, that's some big shoes to fill if anybody's trying to fill those for a man to take. So,
Good luck.
yeah. So my first one, I'm saving my real weird one for last. I think. So,
Okay. All
so,
right.
I'll try to sprinkle in some good news here. So this one over from Metal Hammer. Black Sabbath's original lineup are set to be recognized for their cultural contributions to the city of Birmingham. The four-piece vocalist Ozzy Osbourne, guitarist Tony Iommi, bassist Geezer Butler, and drummer Bill Ward, formed in the Brummie suburb of Aston in 1968, are now recognized as the first heavy metal band, which, I mean, I thought we'd been doing that for years now, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoyed a 49-year career, with Iommi being the sole constant member before retiring in 2017 after a farewell tour that ended at Birmingham's Genting Arena that sold upwards of 75 million albums worldwide. For their service to their hometown, all four men will have their names put forward for the Ferryman of the City title. Only 50 Brummies have ever received the honor, and it's been awarded just once in the 21st century to long-serving Harborne councillor Peter Hollingsworth in 2011. So that award hasn't been given out since then? That's crazy. A report will go to Birmingham City Council on Tuesday, January 28th, recommending that Osborne, Iommi, Butler Award are recognized as free men. Also suggested will be Handsworth-born poet, actor, musician, and professor, Benjamin Zephania, who passed away in December of 2023. Councillor Sharon Thompson, deputy leader of Birmingham City Council, explains that Sabbath are a major part of the city's musical history, as well as a pioneering band that still influences today's musicians. They have become synonymous with the city and have been true ambassadors throughout their phenomenal careers, she adds. Osborne has responded to the honor in a statement saying, quote, "I'm honored and at the same time shocked that I would have ever be considered for this very special commendation. I'm a proud Brummie from Aston through and through. I'm I'm still amazed to this day that no one outside of Birmingham can understand a word I say, but that's always made me laugh. I started with nothing but a dream, which I started with Tony, Geezer, and Bill. We never gave up on that dream. My only regret is that my mom and dad are not here to see what I became. Birmingham forever, end quote. Tony Iommi adds, "I'm over the moon. What a great honor to be a city freeman. I'm aware that very few are given out. It ties us to the rich history of our hometown, Birmingham, and that's fantastic. I'm deeply grateful for the recognition. It is a great honor to be awarded a city freeman by hometown, the great city of Birmingham," comments Geezer Butler. Growing up in Ashton, I couldn't have wished for a better childhood from top notch schools, friendly neighbors, and lifelong friends. And of course, the world's greatest football team, Aston Villa. Birmingham has given the world some of the greatest inventions and innovations in science, industry, the arts, literature, music, and all walks of life. And without Birmingham, the world would be a much poorer place. Thank you, fellow Rummies, for this amazing honor. Uh, end quote. And then Ward says, "Thank you, Lord Mayor and Birmingham City Council, for our legendary fans. A solemn bow. Long live Black Sabbath." End quote. And I agree. Long live Black Sabbath. I mean, Black Sabbath's going to live forever anyway. So,
we probably wouldn't be doing this show if they wouldn't have done what they did back in the
well,
late
right,
50s.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, there would be, there was other bands around at the time, but they were the ones that got the popularity and the notoriety. So,
Yeah.
if who would have known how much notoriety and stuff, except or Scorpions or
Judas
any of those
Priest.
bands. Yeah, any of those bands
Iron
would they actually got without Black Sabbath. So, I mean,
Right. Boy, that's one hell of a what if.
right? Yeah, yeah.
Jesus
So
Christ. Oof. Boy, that would
that
be
would be a deep one.
that would be one hell of a thread to pull. What if Black Sabbath never,
Yeah, never formed a
Jesus Christ.
band. Yeah.
God Almighty. I wouldn't even really want to begin to do the research on that. Jesus.
Yeah, that would be a tough one, dude.
That would take some time. Wow. But thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. And here we are,
Right.
all these years later, and we have so much great music to listen to. So,
Yeah. Yeah. As we share every week. So
yes. Yep. All right. Staying over at Blabbermouth for my next one. This is number 2, of course. Wayne Doobie Fabra, original drummer of the groundbreaking New Orleans band Graveyard Rodeo, died on January 15th. He was 58 years old. Fabra's death comes a little over 5 years after the passing of Graveyard Rodeo singer Perry McCauley. Kyle Thomas of fellow New Orleans metal band Exhorder paid tribute to Fabra, writing in a social media post, quote, "I just saw the devastating news and I'm not okay upon learning it. Rest well, Wayne Doobie Fabra, a friend and mentor to me when I was a 15-year-old kid just learning about punk and hardcore. Graveyard Rodeo was bridging punk and metal on the New Orleans scene before Exhorder was even a thought. We played many shows together, had lots of fun and laughs as well over the years. Never did this Goliath of a man make me feel any smaller than he was, and he was scary looking. He'd be proud to hear me say that. A vicious drummer that hit hard and sang as well. He helped shape the New Orleans scene. If you don't know much about him or Graveyard Rodeo, start doing your homework now. It's worth it. I love you, big guy. May you rot in peace." End quote. That's funny. only a friend would say something like that. That's hilarious. Let's see. Pioneers of the New Orleans underground scene, fusing metal, hardcore, and doom that would later spawn the sludge sound, which New Orleans has become famous for. Graveyard Rodeo's history dates back to 1980 when they formed in New Orleans under the moniker of Bob's Barbecue. I love that. I didn't even know that. That's hilarious. So yep, another one gone too soon.
Yeah,
58 years old. Cause of death unknown, but 58 years old.
yeah, that's still kind of man. It's like we're not starting off the year very good, that's for sure. So
No,
hopefully we get a break in the next couple of weeks, because that's probably what, like 5 or
Man,
6 already, man. Like
it's 6 already. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 6
so-
already.
man, that's crazy. All right, my next one, staying over at Metal Hammer. A Dutch university is offering degrees in heavy metal. Yes, you heard that right. So,
I saw that. God, that would be so cool.
Yeah, Summer College in Eindhoven is making headlines with its faculty, the Metal Factory, which lets students study singing as well as guitar, bass, drum, and keyboard performance in ways specifically tailored to making metal music. A journalist for Australia's 7 News recently visited the college and reported that their 3-year singing course teaches pupils to master the art of growling. According to the instructors, the key to an effective heavy metal growl is simple, she says. You start with a sigh or a groan, and you use your vocal cords to gradually transform it into a primal scream. According to the Metal Factory's official website, the curriculum trains you to become an independent artist, entrepreneur in the metal industry. or in the music industry, period. It didn't say metal, so sorry. It adds that career opportunities after graduation include composing and producing music on commission, as well as teaching and coaching. Graduates have also gone on to further study at such prestigious music schools as the Conservatory of Amsterdam. We also quote, we also have alumni who eventually graduated in copyright management, music therapy, or speech therapy. It continues. Metal Factory offers everyone who wants to be professionally involved in a music broad foundation for the future. End quote. There are 14 named teachers among the faculty, including former Cynic bassist Robin Zylhorst, Textures member Bart Hennefoff, the Steph Brooks on the drummer, ex Delian guitarist, or Delane, sorry, the ex Delane guitarist, Merrill Bexholt, and sound engineer Jacques Dehard. So, Delane's a pretty big name there, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
They got something like that. So, quote, our teachers are all active in the music industry, on stage and behind the scenes, says the Metal Factory. We try to keep our education up to date and relevant to the current industry. We feel it's important to have our teaching staff reflect this philosophy. Many of our teachers have toured the world and are thus capable of sharing realistic experiences and knowledges with our students, end quote. If you want to earn a degree that proves how hard you rock, then the Metal Factory is hosting an open day at Dynamo and Hoven on January 26th. So, in that area, then there you go.
Man, that would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be so fun. I wish I had something even close to that here.
Right. Yeah.
That would be fun as hell.
Instead of probably go get your hee haw on somewhere around here.
You probably could, and I mean, and that's fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into that, I guess.
Yeah, that's totally fine. All right. Well, going over to the PRP for this third one, and this one is a short one, but this one is very very strange, and I have a feeling this is going to be something that kind of will merit a follow up at some point. A 29-year-old male, Sharif Bowden, has been charged with murder, manslaughter, criminal possession of a controlled substance, and criminal possession of a weapon in relation to last week's death of founding 24/7 Spies member, 64-year-old Peter P. Fluid Forrest. Forrest was found beaten to death in the back of an ambulance he had been driving in the Bronx last Monday, January 13th. Surveillance footage of the incident, as well as a report on the murder, has been shared by News 12. The NYPD noted that Bowden was on parole for robbery at the time of his arrest. That's all the information I have on that right now. But like I say, this one is probably going to be a developing thing. And this is one that I'm going to keep an eye on so that we kind of see where this one goes, because that's serious.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when I saw that one, like I say, it was a short, I mean, just a couple of quick paragraphs that I just read, but I was like, holy shit. I mean, I don't really know what to say other than, I mean, it's fucked up, man. I mean, just, I will say this, based on just the information I have, it's fucked up that it happened, but the fact that it happened, but there's surveillance video of it, is a good thing, because now they have the guy who's on tape, and they basically have all the evidence you would think that they need. So hopefully this isn't something that lingers too long for, obviously for P Fluid's family.
Right, exactly.
So they don't have to so this doesn't have to be a lingering thing for them.
Messed up, dude. People
Totally messed up.
All right, this one over at Metal Sucks. If you needed another reason to hate AI, hang on to your seats. There's an old quote attributed to several different writers, including Dorothy Parker and Robert Louis Stevenson, which says, quote, "I hate to write, but I love to have written," end quote, meaning that the process of writing is grueling, but the final product is much more satisfying. Similarly, there's a quote that Kurt Vonnegut attributed to Renata Adler that said something to the effect of, quote, "A writer is a person who hates writing," end quote. There's a certain truth to that, undoubtedly, but at the end of the day, I'd still rather be writing than have someone do all of my writing for me. But to ask Sumo AI co-founder and CEO Mikey Schulman, you would think that most musicians would rather be doing anything rather than creating music. In a recent appearance on the 20-minute VC podcast that was reported by our friends at Metal Ingestion, Shulman gave the ridiculous viewpoint that most musicians hate writing music. Quote, we didn't want to build a company that makes the current crop of creators 10% faster or make it 10% easier to make music. If you want to impact the way a billion people experience music, you have to build something for a billion people. That is, first and foremost, giving everybody the joys of creating music. And this is a huge departure of making music. It's not really enjoyable to make music now. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of practice. You need to be really good at an instrument or really good at a piece of production software. I think the majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music, end quote. While it may seem frustrating to make music at times, to say that people don't enjoy making music is laughable. Being a musician is one of the few careers that people dream about. How can you say that nobody enjoys it? And that's before you get into all the ethical issues around AI. When it comes to really dumb takes about AI, and there have been plenty of them, this might go down as one of the dumbest.
I would say it's probably up there.
So that's just fucking ridiculous. Like, man, like why would you want some? I don't know, man. To me, if I'm a musician and I can make music, I want to do it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't want some damn computer writing shit for me. And then, because I mean, to me, you practice it. You know, you're doing it, and then you hear the finished product, and you think, man, that's great. We spent 6 months doing this, and that's what it sounds like. That's awesome. You know,
Yeah,
instead of going on a computer, going, oh man, that's 10 minutes worth of work. Great. Sounds like
yeah,
shit. But
I definitely, I mean, I definitely don't recall any of our guests complaining about having to write music. Now, granted,
nope.
granted there's some things that they kind of lament about the process. Some of the red tape you gotta kind of machete your way through and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as the actual art itself, I mean, I I don't recall a single complaint. I mean, I'm sure for a lot of them, it's kind of a release, and depending on the subject matter of a particular song, cathartic. So I mean, I don't think any of our guests have like, oh, I hate writing songs. There's parts of the process that can be kind of tedious, monotonous, and kind of a pain in the ass, but I don't think anyone that we've talked to hates making music. If Because I mean, if they hated it, they wouldn't try so hard to keep doing it.
Right. Yeah. They take, 1 or 2 albums, they'd be done.
Right.
Like,
And
you got people like Megadeth with 17 albums under their belt.
yeah, you got,
Or
well, hell,
Rage with like
25
26
or
or something.
25 or 26, yeah. But I mean, you know, just you got guys like Rick Jimenez, our buddy from Extinction AD, who's come on the show 3 times. He loves coming on the show and he loves talking to us, but at the same time, and we love having him, but at the same time, he knows that it's part of it. You got to get out
Right.
there and you got to sell yourself, and
Got to promote it. Yeah.
because you got to promote yourself, you got to promote your brand. So I mean, while working your 9 to 5 job and then having to find time to come and sit down for a few hours with a couple of average Joes like us, it's all part of it. But, thankfully, Rick has said that he enjoys coming on the show, and like I say, we do appreciate it. But, sometimes it's one of those things. It's like, do I really have the energy to do X, Y, or Z this podcast today, or whatever, because I mean, they actually have a show of their own, Extinction AD. They've got their little,
Right. Yep.
they've got their little It's Go Time, uh, their little webisode. I don't know if it's a podcast, a webisode. I don't know what they would
Right.
what they would technically consider it, but it's like a show like ours. So I mean, with everything else they got going on as a band, they've got their own show that they do. So I mean, it's all part of the grind, as Rick would say, and he knows that. But I mean, I'm just sure there are days where he's like, man, just not today. And that's the funny
Yeah.
thing, is that's everyone with everything. I think just there are just some
Oh, well,
days
yeah.
where you're just like, just not
No,
today.
no matter what job you're doing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So just not
Get
today.
halfway down the road, and don't even get out of the neighborhood and say, what, fuck this. I'm going.
I mean, everyone has a day. Everyone does.
I've actually done that before. I actually woke up and said, yeah, nah, fuck it.
Oh, I say it almost every morning, but I still get up and go. I have to.
Well, I mean, luckily, I had time to cover it, but
Yeah.
but still, still the same thing. It was just like, yeah, whatever. messing
Right.
with it today. Screw it. So
Yeah. All right, staying at the PRP for this next one. This is one that got posted to the Facebook group, but I mean, for the people who aren't in it,
right.
first of all, shame on you, and second of all, this is one you probably would like to be caught up on. So over at the PRP, platinum certified alternative metal outfit Bad Omens accidentally brought some of the
Oh
roof
yeah.
down during their set at Festival Hall in Melbourne, Australia, yesterday, January 22nd. Of course, this was as of the when the story was posted. During their set closing performance of their hit Just Pretend, confetti cannons were fired off into the air. As it turns out, they appear to have impacted with the ceiling, causing several plaster tiles to fall and land on the audience below. Having since performed a second show at the same venue, this time without any tile related incidents, the band's vocalist Noah Sebastian addressed the accident from the stage, offering, quote, a moment of silence for the victims of the ceiling panels, crowd screams. I said a moment of silence, not a joke, shut up. No, that was serious, for real, and I'm so glad everyone was okay. That was, first of all, I didn't see that happen, okay? I want to make that very clear. I'm in the zone doing my thing, was not expecting a ceiling tile to fall, but I'm glad that everybody's okay. But I also heard they are all here tonight. Everyone that was hit by the ceiling tile, if you were, where are my tile guys at? Was that you? Who else? Don't start lying to get attention. You, are you okay? The news said it was someone was knocked unconscious. Is that true? That's true. Your friend? They're not here. I'm reading all of this quote unquote verbatim as he's like talking. He's interacting with the crowd. So I know that
Mhm.
sounds kind of strange. The aforementioned video then cut out. Wall of Sound have republished reports from some concert goers who suffered apparent minor injuries in the incident, with soft tissue damage, cuts, and bruising apparently being suffered by some of by some of those, and there's an extra word in there, by some of those impacted by the tiles. So there's a couple videos floating around. One of them is him, talking about the accident, and I'm not 100% sure if there's a still photo of the tile falling, but I don't know if there's actual video of the ceiling tile falling down. So, but kind of a weird thing. Thankfully, everyone is 99.9% okay. A couple maybe souvenir lacerations or abrasions or whatever. So
Mhm. Man, that's still crazy to think that they actually brought the roof down. So
yep, brought the house down. Absolutely.
man. All right. Well, here's my last one. If you've been following this story for any length of time, it's been a doozy, man. And I don't think it's getting any. It's getting. I think it just keeps getting worse and worse as time goes on. So, of course, if it gets any worse than this, we'll keep reporting on it. But I don't want to beat it to death. But I do think if it sheds new light on the situation, then we'll report on it. If not, then we probably just won't. We'll probably just leave it alone. But this one over from Loudwire, and uh, with yet another video arriving online showing us As I Lay Dying singer Tim Labesis in a less than flattering light, the singer's wife Danny has taken to social media to respond to the claims that she is behind the leaked clips. The first videos to arrive came close to Thanksgiving, with two clips of Lambesis exhibiting disturbing behavior during an intense verbal exchange and shouting match with Danny. At the time, Lambesis claimed that the videos were leaked in retaliation against him after he had served Danny with divorce papers earlier in the week. He had also claimed that he had a restraining order against Danny, who he alleged had subjected him to verbal and physical abuse. Now, a third video has started making the rounds in which Lambesis can be seen physically striking a dog on multiple occasions, which, I'll get into that in a minute. Uh, with the videos circulating, Danny decided to share her story on social media, in which she denies being the person behind the leaked videos and asked the person who is to stop doing so. Previously, before the leak of the first video near Thanksgiving, she had issued a statement calling rumors of abuse allegations against Lambesis completely false. In this new statement, Danny alleges that her original October statement was drafted by managers working to protect Lambesis' public image. This was January 17th, she decided to speak out after Lambesis' recent statements in public interview, one she views as being attempts to cover up the truth of their relationship. Danny also accuses Lambesis of using DARVO tactics. DARVO is an acronym for Deny, Attack, Reverse, Victim, and Offender. According to Medical News Today, this is a technique that a person may use to shift responsibility for an abusive incident onto the survivor of the abuse, and it may also help the person who perpetrated the abuse deflect some of the responsibility
shit. Which one of us was it? Was it him? Was it me? Hang on. Let me check. I gotta check one of. It looks like he's frozen. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Oh, there you are. Okay, there
What
you are.
happened?
I think you froze. Did I
Oh,
freeze you?
did I?
I think you froze.
Oh, so what's the last thing you heard?
You were talking about Darvo tactics.
Okay. Well, I mean, he just spaced out for a minute then. Okay. So anyway, so
No, it
after the
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't long.
anyway, after the Darbo test, it was just talking about her Instagram post. It says, I did not release the videos that have come out of Tim Lambesis, nor that the ones that were released in November, nor the ones that were released today. Out of respect for me, I am asking whoever is leaking the videos to please stop. I will no longer stay silent out of fear of Tim. The lies being told by him in his last statement and in the recent podcast are deliberate attempts to cover up the truth and play the victim, using typical Darbo tactics. There was never a domestic violence investigation against me, nor was there ever a restraining order placed against me. This is public information anyone can access online, which that is true. The videos that Tim claims to have of me abusing him are instances of self-defense and outbursts against his ongoing physical and mental abuse and repeated infidelity with hundreds of people. Damn. I mean, hundreds of people, that's on you for staying there that long. So,
A
the state,
little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, the statement I released on October 24th defending his abuse was drafted up by him and his new managers to protect his career and public image, which I have proof of. I mean, you got proof. That's pretty hard to say no if you got proof.
Absolutely.
Tim has continuously tried to intimidate me, bribe me, and beg me to sign an NDA in our marriage or settlement, stating that I will never publicly talk about him so that the truth will be buried when our divorce is finalized, which are all recorded conversations. I have also recorded a phone call from Tim a week ago, rationalizing and explaining why he thinks we should get back together. I refuse to let dishonesty overshadow the pain and trauma I have endured any longer, not just to me, but to others close to this as well. This isn't just about me anymore. There is Tim's version of why his ex bandmates left. He left. Oh, as I lay dying. And then there is a truth. There is no irony behind the timing of the dissolution of As I Lay Dying in our marriage. Towards the end of our relationship, Tim told me, quote, in psychology, when someone hears a story of abuse in a relationship from one person, they are more likely to believe that person's version because they were the first to tell the story, end quote. At the time, I didn't fully understand what he meant, but it is very clear to me now. The abusive, cheating, narcissistic behavior will or the narcissist, sorry, the abusive, cheating narcissist will try to destroy your life and your name with lies before you can shine light on the truth. I am done being silent. So, good for her for actually coming out, and saying something. Because I mean, we were under the impression that from what we have read before, that things were, it was all her and not him, which was kind of we were kind of like, so, you from your past, dude,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like what we weren't making a judgment call because we didn't have all the information. So, now that this came to light, we kind of feel like our initial thoughts were probably true. So unfortunately, but that's they're a good band. That's what's sad. It's like you're talking about a disillusion of a decent band. So
Well, but I mean, it's one of those common denominator things. His wife left
yeah,
him. All of his bandmates and friends left him. So I mean, at
yeah.
some
So,
point where there's smoke, there's fire.
yeah, so all those people just aren't leaving for no reason. Band manager included. It's kind of like, wow. I think that's what got our attention. Whenever the band manager left, we were both like, wait, what the fuck? Like a band manager just don't leave. It's like,
Right.
something's going on. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't. Who knows what's going to come out of this? I don't know if there's going to be any,
So I don't know.
formal charges or anything. But I mean, it's at some point. At some point, Tim's going to have to realize it's like, dude, I got to do something. I got to make some changes. So.
Well, so I don't know if you've seen the video, the latest one of him with the dog or not.
No, I didn't, and I'm not going to.
Well, I will tell you this: it was blown out of proportion. It was like he come in and he kind of, has his socks on and kind of brushes the dog with his foot and says, "Get the fuck out, get the fuck out." And he's opening the door to let it outside.
Mhm.
So people were like, "Oh, he's kicking the fucking dog." I'm like, no, he's not really kicking the dog.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
he's not punting the fucking dog. He's
Okay,
like,
all right.
so I mean, the guy does enough bad on his own. He don't need no help, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's
But
true.
and then they do. He's like doing this to the dog, but his back's to the camera, so you can't see the dog, you can't see him, and from the what I see and knowing what punches look like from being in sports and stuff, it doesn't look like he pulled back and punched nothing. I mean, to me, it doesn't. Like, could he have? I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's a dark video. His back's to you. You don't see the dog, so can you really say that in confidence that he struck the dog? No, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think you can. So,
I mean, and that's the thing. If Danny has enough irrefutable evidence to back up the claims that she's made, don't take don't take another video that you can't prove and run with that.
right.
So I
Well, I
mean,
mean, she's not taking the videos, is what she says. So, I mean,
no, I know, no, I
you
know.
know,
I'm just talking about the court of
well,
public
yeah, yeah, yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
So that's the thing. If she has proof of the
Yeah,
claims
you
that
don't need
she's
nothing
making,
else, man. Like,
right?
just let her do it. Let her do her thing.
So
So,
that's the thing. I don't like in any situation where you see something that's like you said, dark or grainy or whatever, and you're like, see, you can see right there. It's like you can't see shit. So stop. So stop. It needs to be cut and dry, like the surveillance video and the story that I just talked about with P fluid. If they have surveillance video of the incident and it's clear and they can tell what happened, fine. But because supposedly they have that. So, that's the thing. I mean, make sure that any conclusions that you draw are based on what really happened and what you can actually see and prove. That's my whole thing. Talking about this dog video or whatever, based on just what you've told me, because I haven't seen it, like I said, it sounds like piling on at this point. It just sounds like
it
piling
is,
on.
yeah. I mean, it
So,
is.
and
It's
that's
like,
not fair. And that's not fair. He's done enough stuff. He's
right.
done enough stuff. He's already served time for one thing. And it seems like, I mean, he's lost a band, he's lost a marriage, and he's done enough, or so it seems. But don't pile on unfairly. Don't make this one isolated thing and
Mhm.
just pile on and just make this particular thing, this dog video, something that it probably sounds like it's not.
Right. Well, we'll know what happened if he comes, in the next few months talking about he got bit. So,
Well, that's true.
because a dog ain't gonna take too much of that shit before it bites back. So,
No, they won't.
uh,
No, they won't.
yeah. He's gonna catch your ass in a vulnerable moment trying to feed him or something and bite your fucking hand off. Because he's just.
Could.
I mean, yeah, because dogs dogs don't forget, being hit or struck or anything. So,
Yep.
I've seen many a dog. My daughter rescued a dog that she thinks was abused because she's so jittery around people.
Yeah.
It's like, and it takes a little while for her to warm up to you. I mean,
Yeah.
she loves us when we come by now, but it took us
Right.
forever to warm up to that dog because, like I said, somebody probably abused it for so long. And
Well, yeah, she would do that to me. I'd come to the house and she'd bark her head off at
oh well,
me.
it's not that one. So
Okay.
yeah,
But
no,
but even
she got that dog from somebody she worked with. So
okay, but even that dog would like bark its head off
yeah,
at me,
she's
and
just
then
she's just crazy.
and then she would come over to me and let me pet her, and she would wag her tail like
Yeah,
100 miles an
yeah.
hour. And then I would stop petting her. She would
And then
walk.
bark at
She
you.
would like walk away and act like she'd never seen me before.
I know, right? It's pretty wild.
Be like, I just got done petting you.
Yeah,
so
yeah. She just I don't know. She just has to be around you all the time. I guess I don't
I
know. Like
guess so.
yeah, but she does somebody else that comes over. One of Johnny's friends comes over here and she does the same thing to him. So
That's good. I don't know.
because they had to stay with us a couple of days and they all his buddies came over and they were here and she was barking at him and then he petted her and she was fine. Then as soon as he stopped petting her, she was like, "Arr,"
Yeah.
I was like, same thing he does to Chris. So
Talk about it. Yeah, talk about a short memory.
yeah, right.
It's like that. It's like that dude on 51st Dates. Hi, I'm Tom.
Yeah, 10-second time.
Yeah.
Watch yourself, Tom.
Yeah. All right, my last one, going back over to Blabbermouth. This one kind of, well, not technically because there aren't any dates listed yet, but UK metal stalwarts Orange Goblin have announced their decision to split. The long-running London-based outfit will play all of its scheduled 2025 dates before closing the book on a 3-decade-long career. Orange Goblin explained a decision to call it quits on a social media post on Wednesday, January 22nd. They wrote, quote, "As Orange Goblin enters its 30th year of existence, we have made the collective decision that 2025 will be our last. Maybe not forever, and who knows what could be possible further down the line. It's been a wild 30 years, and we have had some incredible experiences and are left with magical memories. For that, we are truly grateful. We started the band with no real preconception of what it eventually became. Same with this show. We started as bored teenagers with a mutual love of heavy metal. Same with this show. Classic rock and punk rock. We feel very fortunate that we have been able to travel all over the world. Not quite this show yet. Numerous times and have made a network of friends all around the globe. Same with this show. We are proud of everything we have accomplished together.
Start counting. We'll start.
We've always maintained We've always maintained a DIY ethic, same with the show, and done things our own way and on our own terms, same with the show. We have never compromised to fit into any specific scene, and we feel we leave a very strong legacy of 10 studio albums, each one a milestone that marks exactly where we were at each point of our journey. Of this, we are fiercely proud. It's not been an easy decision for any of us. We have all given 30 years of our lives to this incredible band, but we feel that now is the right time for us to focus our attention on our families and other interests outside the band. We will, of course, be honoring all the shows and festivals we currently have planned for 2025, as well as a few other things that we have in the pipeline, but this could be your last chance to catch Orange Goblin live. We would like to express our gratitude to every single person that has made this possible for us. There are far too many to name personally, but especially to our wives and children that have supported us no matter what. Our former bandmates, Martin and Pete, the current and former road crew that have kept the show on the road for so long, despite us never making things easy for them. But last and by no means least, we thank you, the Orange Goblin fans that have been the bedrock of everything for us. Nothing we have done would have been possible without the fans that have bought the albums, the merchandise, the show tickets, and always showed us and made us feel how appreciated we are. We thank you all from the bottom of our hearts." End quote. For the last 30 years, Orange Goblin has tirelessly flown the flag for all-out heavy metal and maximum rock and roll, driven by passion, persistence, and a heartfelt love for metal's dark magic. Orange Goblin has always been a vital force and a risk-free bet. But while some may be content to trade on past glories, Orange Goblin viewed heavy metal as a lifelong pursuit. In 2024, they released their 10th studio album, Science, Not Fiction. And like I say, we don't. Oh, I'm sorry. There weren't any listed like in print at the bottom of the page, but there actually is an Instagram post that I will share to the social media, and a lot of them are festival dates, but there are some standalone concerts in there too. So I'll get those posted. But yep, if you're overseas, it's going to be your last chance this year. So take advantage of it if they're anywhere near you. So. Going out on your own terms, though, I think every group would kind of want to do that.
Oh yeah, I would think so. All right. Well, I guess that will take us into some other headlines here we can talk about. Haken guitarist Charlie Griffith unveils a new Tiktaalik project. I think that's how you pronounce that project, but anyway, so Scorpions postponed their Las Vegas residency to allow Mickey D to recover from illness, which is pretty cool. I mean, I think that's something that it's cool that they do that because he's part of the band. So I mean, they could have easily probably replaced him with Herman Rareberry or something. I don't know.
I mean, they could have. But I mean,
but anyway, Metallica supported Raven in 1983, and the new wave of British heavy metal veterans didn't think they would ever get big. I just found that amazing.
But that's the thing is, I mean, we're just doing a little bit of 42 years ago revisionist history. I mean, in 1983, I mean,
yeah,
who thought they would be billionaires.
Well, yeah,
Well,
man, that was like what
as a
they had.
collective billionaires.
That was like their debut album out and stuff. You know, I mean that's basically what they were going off of at that time, right? Because I mean,
I mean,
you know,
you had no
Ride the
way.
Lightning didn't come out till '84, so
So yeah, they had no one had any way of knowing.
yeah,
I mean, even D. Snyder said the same thing, that he didn't really see them making it.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Who's
like
to
I
know?
said, right place, right time, right fan base. I mean, you know, anybody can blow up. You know, I mean, it's harder now, and I talk about it being harder now because I was talking to somebody about this the other day. It's like the marketing isn't there for bands anymore. You know, kind of like you had with you know, Guns N' Roses and Metallica and Motley Crue and all those bands back in the day. You know, there was no, you know, you had marketing people pushing you. You don't have that anymore. You know, you don't have a, you know, like we've talked to, you know, Bob Chiappardi about that. You know, how different it is now from when he did things. You know, so you know he's having to do other things because that's, you know, a lot of people's not reaching out to marketers anymore or trying to get promoted. So you know, they think they can do it all on social media, which, you know, you know, that's a part of it. Yeah, but I mean, you got to do other things. I mean, you know, that's one of the things I always hated about wrestling was, you know, and I hate bringing this up again because we always comparing stuff, but you know, I always hate that because people's like, oh, well, I posted it on social media. I'm like, yeah, but did you go and put any posters out in the town that you're working in? I mean, like that's where your people are. You know, the people on Facebook are probably, you know, how many of your friends are from that town? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if you don't go to the town and put posters out, then nobody knows you're there. I mean, you know, I mean, the people on here do, but they don't live there. So
Exactly.
you know, are they going to drive, you know, 2 states over to see it? Probably not. So I mean, you know,
Not many. That's for damn sure.
so I mean, like I said, in that case, I would see where people was like, "Well, I'll post it on there. That's all I can do." Yeah, because you don't live there. But I mean, the promoters are the ones that I'm kind of screaming about on that because they think all the workers are posting it and I'm posting it, so we don't need to go out and stick nothing out. Well, yeah, you do because a lot of people don't get on social media. So I mean, you got a lot of older people that are probably more into wrestling than the younger people that would go to that, but they don't know because, you know, they're shopping at the Piggly Wiggly or, you know, Dollar Tree or whatever that, and you know, there's no poster there, so they don't know.
That's true.
So yeah, so I mean, promotion's a big thing, man. Like, you know, like I said, you had people doing it for you then. Now it's kind of a DIY project most of the time now. I mean, especially with some of the bands we talked to.
A lot of it is. Yeah, a lot of it is.
All right, moving on. Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson finishes 13th in a fencing tournament. Which, is there anything this guy doesn't do? Jesus Christ.
Sleep.
Yeah, he sleep. Yeah, he don't sleep. Faith No More's Bill Gold admits that he is clueless as anyone as to whether the band has a future or not, which that's pretty sad. But
yeah.
Snot revealed their new singer at last night's reunion show. Andy Knapp of Stronger Than Machines as their new vocalist. So I didn't see any of that. I wish there was a video. I could check that out and see how good he did. But
I'm sure there'll be some emerging.
oh yeah. CU Space Cowboys. Connie. Oh man, is that Garbosa is leaving the band. So that's any CU Space Cowboys fans out there would probably know more about that than I do. But Spirit Box launched a charity raffle for California fire victims. That's pretty cool. Man, I mean, this is the thing. Like, you know, I was talking about somebody this the other day. It's like I don't know if we touched base on this or not when we talked about it, but you know, I kind of got pissed off because I was reading some of the comments on some of this stuff and like, well, they're rich, they could rebuild and blah blah. You know, everybody in those areas aren't rich. You know, it's like there are people in 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses there. You know what I mean? That have lost everything because, you know, and you know they're going to have just as much a hard of time of rebuilding as anybody. So. And actually worse because they don't have millions of dollars to go set up at a hotel while their shit gets rebuilt. So I mean, you know, so I mean they're gonna be homeless until, you know, unless they got family members to live with or, you know, something like that. So
and the funny thing about it is even the people that do get a chance to rebuild, they have to wait until all these areas are cleaned up first.
Yeah, cleaned up. Then you got to get permits to rebuild. And,
right. You know, so I mean, even the people who have the money, it's not going to be a quick process for anyone.
Oh no, I already read where they said it was going to be a minimum of 3 years to get fully rebuilt. So
I mean, it's not going to be an overnight process by any stretch.
Yeah, so I mean that's what I'm saying. Like these people with no money, they're going to be homeless for a long time.
Right.
So I mean,
Yep.
you know, it's to me they probably just cash out, and if they had fire insurance, I don't know how that. I kept hearing stories about that. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure that if insurance companies see a fire raging, they can just say, "Oh, you're not covered." Well, sorry, buddy, my premium's paid. I'm covered. So,
Hmm.
so, so, but that's kind of wild, man. It's kind of like I said, I haven't get an update on that. I don't know if you've seen any updates on it, or if it's contained, or
Well, the
how.
funny
I
thing,
know I know there's some new stuff blowing up in San
yeah.
Diego, so I seen something like
Well,
that. But
well, I did see something on weather.com. Apparently some of those Santa Ana winds had kind of
died
blown
down.
back through, and I think another fire kind of
Oh, gotcha.
restarted in LA, but I
Oh
don't
man,
know I don't know how big it is. So don't quote me on whether
right.
it's kind of like re-stoked the whole thing that's been going on to the extent that it was, because I don't know. But
Yeah. Well, either here or there, it's good to see other people launching charities and stuff for
mhm,
some of the victims, and uh, and I'm sure that's not going to you know Tommy Lee's home or whoever. I'm sure that's
yeah,
for people that actually need the help.
yeah,
And I
hopefully.
think and like to me, it was crazy to see like firefighters and stuff from Canada coming down and helping. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, wow, that's crazy,
Yeah,
dude, to see that many people come together to help out. So
yeah,
you know, people, you know, not to get political, but people are trying to get, well, what's the president going to do? Is he going to recruit? They're trying to get national, whatever it is, disaster or whatever relief going on there, and and I think he pretty much said, well, we're going to take care of North Carolina first because I think they've been out of they've been out of the out of pocket for a lot longer. So
hmm,
I think that's the right call. I mean, I think you take care of whoever's been out the longest.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong, California, they're part of the United States, whether you like it or not. So they should
yeah,
definitely get some kind of help,
yeah.
out there that people that need it. But Amazon's done sent, my wife still works there, so she was talking about how they were sending out stuff, to water and that things of that nature out there. So
Oh, that's good. I didn't hear that, so that's good.
yeah, it's like 14 Amazon facilities were putting stuff together. So
Good.
they got so there's probably a lot of stuff out there, for that. So
That's good to hear.
like I said, they get a lot of help. So hopefully things turn around for them. So
Hmm.
even though we don't like some of their stuff, I mean, they maybe they'll wake up and get some people in charge that are for the people.
Hmm. I mean, we'll see.
To an extent. I
Yeah,
mean,
we'll see.
I don't think any politician's for the people 100%. So,
Oh
so
no. Uh-uh.
too much scratch my back, I'll scratch your bullshit.
Yeah, too much of that shit. Yeah.
Anyway, back to the headlines. Slipknot's Mick Thompson debuts new ESP signature guitar, so that's pretty cool. He got a new guitar there. So, Hatebreed frontman Jamie Josta calls Tool's Fear Inoculum spa music. That was kind of funny. Uh, which I don't. I'm not going to say either or on that. I mean, spa music might be a little much, but but
But I mean, at the same time, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
all right. I mean,
Everyone's
somebody had actually posted something in the comments because he was talking about how somebody's like, well, all the shit sounds the same, and dude's like, I mean, Hatebreed shit sounds the same. I mean, some of it does. I mean, if you think about it, I think to an extent. It's going to sound the same because a band has a certain sound that that made them who they are. So,
Oh, of course.
you're going
Yeah.
to have hints of that sound throughout your whole career. I mean,
Yeah. I think so.
hell, I've heard Devil Driver songs be so close, and I'm like listening to it, going, "Wait, this is that song?" And I was like, "Oh, wait, no, that's that." I was like, "Oh, they just changed the guitar note. That's all they did. It's like it's like one guitar note. It's like that's crazy, dude. But it's a whole different song because they changed that one guitar note. But it's still funny to think about when you hear it. You're just like, what the hell? Uh, Mark Tremonti thinks Creed needs to write new music to keep the fan interest. Which I mean,
Probably right.
to me, if you're going out and you're selling out venues like they are right now, which is kind of crazy to think Creed's selling out venues in 2024, but they
Right.
were doing it, so it's kind of like I mean, if you got that many people still interested in the music, then for sure go out and write new music, man. Keep them coming. So
They
I
probably
don't,
should.
yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to tour, 10 years on stuff you've already wrote. I mean, you're going to have
Uh-uh.
to write. You're going to have to write some new stuff here and there. I mean, even
Yeah.
Godsmack had said that. Said we're not going to put out new albums. So yeah, we're going to put out some new singles and then try to tour maybe, but no more new albums. Which is,
Right.
all right. I mean, that's their prerogative. They want to do that, but like he knows that you got to go out on tour with new music though. So you make 3 or 4 singles and then go out. So
Yep.
then you got new music to play. So. And I'm sure some of these bands like that that's been around that long has got catalog that they haven't played live in forever, so they could switch it up. I'm sure, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they could.
then Corrosion of Conformity said they are officially done with pre-production for their new album, so that may be coming pretty quick. So
Well, that's cool.
Fred Durst, Lemmy, and more featured in the latest trailer for Society One documentary, Everyone Dies. I don't know much about that documentary, but it sounds. I mean, you got Lemmy and stuff in, so it's got to
Right.
be pretty good, right? Cynic announces retraced and kindly bent to free U.S. vinyl release reissues with bonus tracks. So, oh, sorry, retraced and kindly bent to free us. That's the name of the project. So
Oh,
I
okay.
kind of read that backwards. Like, oh wait a minute, I read that wrong. So they're reissuing the vinyl with some bonus tracks. So if you're a fan of theirs, you can go pick that up. I love picking up vinyl with extra tracks on it. That's pretty cool.
Sure.
Or even CDs. Like I bought some. Made me mad because I bought a couple of CDs and then a year later, like, oh, this is the deluxe thing with two or three new songs. I'm
I
like,
know. I hate this shit.
you motherfucker.
Always hated this shit.
So anyway, of course, we talked about this. Acid Bath announces their first 2 non-festival reunion shows, and both sell out immediately. So there's obviously
Mhm.
still some Acid Bath fans out there.
Oh, yeah.
So especially they're getting on reunion, they're getting on festivals and stuff like that. So I mean, these are 2 non-festival shows, and they sold out immediately. So
Yep.
that's pretty good, man. Good for them. To
Yep.
be out that long and come back and be able to do that. That's pretty cool. Imperial Triumph announces a new album featuring Dave Lombardo and Meshuggah's Thomas Hake. That should
Oh,
be an
no.
that should be an interesting album. Uh,
Wow.
they're gonna be on the same track. That'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, do a drum off. I would pay to see that. Just
I
them two,
would too,
just
actually.
them two doing a drum off for fucking like 30 minutes. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Gates to Hell opens the portals to a worse world with Next to Bleed, the new album due out in March. So yeah, there's another new release
Yeah.
to look forward to. So speaking of which, we're going to talk about some new stuff in a little bit. But Jesus Christ, the stuff that came out this week is I mean, there's some stuff coming out pretty fast. So I mean, we talk about how uh, everything that was coming out this year, but it's coming out faster than you know we kind of
Hmm.
expected it to. So I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking March and April stuff that's like right up on us. I mean, really, if you think about it. So
Well, I mean, hell, there's we'll get to it, but I mean, there's some stuff coming up just in the next
next
couple
week,
weeks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, that's all of the headlines I had. I don't know if you had anything to add there.
The only one that I remember posting as far as like any headlines go, I'm gonna have to find it. Give me a second.
Oh, you're good.
While I do look for it, want to say good morning to Ari. He's joining us in the chat. So
Oh, hey, what's up, Ari?
so good morning to Ari from the Reality Machine. Thanks for stopping by, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it! Where did it go? I had it pulled up. I was actually going to read it as a story, but I decided not to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. Onslaught's Nige Rocket is going to be returning to the stage after undergoing a number of cancer removal operations.
Oh, yeah, that's
so
right.
apparently he's gotten to the point where he's free and clear of cancer. So that is very good news.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great news.
Cool. All right, I guess that will take us into hitting the road. And like I previously said before, I got two announcements and then the festival to go through that lineup. So the only two that I had was two that I had posted. So the Texas metalcore crew, Upon a Burning Body, are hitting the road across North America. North America. God, Jesus Christ, can't talk. Once again this
I know
spring.
the feeling. Please.
Yeah. They are going to be supported by Left to Suffer, King 810, Half Me, and Bury My Demons. That tour kicks off on April 17th in Amarillo, Texas, at the Rockwell the Rockwell Event Center. Jesus. Oh, man. I quit. And it ends on May 17th at Daytona Beach at Welcome to Rockville. They will be in Nashville on May 7th at the Eastside Bowl. That's one of the other ones I was talking about. I'm probably going to wind up going to. Just, I mean that lineup is pretty damn good, man. That's a
Well,
badass
I
lineup.
know Susie likes to go see Upon a Burning Body too. So.
Oh yeah. So when they show up, so.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, if you're headlining, you pass better be there. So, oh man. And then the second one I had was the Warbringer, the Vortex of Violence North America co-headline tour with Legion. Support from Skeletal Remains and Summoning the Lich. That kicks off on March 18th in San Diego, California at Brick by Brick and ends on April 12th in Los Angeles, California at the Terragram Ballroom. No Tennessee dates on that bill, which yeah, they got it. Yeah, boo for real. Like that's one of my damn bucket list bands. They need to hurry the fuck up and come here, dude. Or at least to Atlanta or Knoxville or something where I can get there. Like I think the closest place they're coming is somewhere in North Carolina. I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm not going to North Carolina.
Yeah, that's a little far. Yeah. So. Knoxville, Chattanooga, something.
Yeah, somewhere that's 3 or 4 hours away. I'll drive, but I'm not planning on taking an overnight trip for that. Right. For a festival, I understand, but not for that.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
All right. Then, last but not least, after weeks of leaking some of the performers on this year's Incarceration Festival, organizer Damien Wimmer Presents have now revealed the full bill that includes headliners Falling in Reverse, Slipknot, and Five Finger Death Punch, taking over the Ohio State Reformatory grounds in Mansfield, Ohio, July 18th through the 20th. In total, there will be over 66 bands playing 3 stages and over 100 tattoo artists in attendance, should fans want to add to their body art. Let me say this. To me, this is like the perfect festival because it's like, 3 days, 18, 19, 20. It's not the 4-day shit where you got to, and then plus it's got a little bit extra stuff to do there. You're in between bands or you don't want to see a band until 2:00 and you show up at 10. Well, you got 4 hours to get a tattoo, So, So Friday, July 18th, you got Fallen in Reverse headlining, of course. Beartooth is also going to be on that day. Not Loose, Parkway Drive, I Prevail, Killswitch Engage, The Amity, Affliction, Drain, The Devil Wears Prada, Sleep Theory, Alpha Wolf, Drowning Pool, Body Snatcher, Carnifex, Suffocation, Distant Mugshot, Body Box, and then Archon Theory. So that is the Friday night lineup. Of course, there's no times yet because it's kind of a little bit off from that still. But on Saturday, July 19th, Slipknot closes that one out with Marilyn Manson also on that day. Slaughter to Prevail, Acid Bath, The Dillinger Escape Plan, Dayseeker, Kubla Khan, August Burns Red, The Plot and You, Snot, Amur, Spite, The Union Underground, Dracula Logic, Until I Wake, Of Virtue, Silent Theory, Swollen Teeth, and How We Feel. And then on Sunday, July 20th, you got Five Finger Death Punch, of course, closing out the night. You have 3 Days Grace, Lamb of God, In This Moment, Architects. Then there's got a couple of still to be announced bands, so that you still could have some big bands still added to that. So also got Crossfade, We Came as Romans, Kitty, Attila, Currents, Catch Your Breath, Taproot, Crystal Lake, Son of the Swarm, Browning, A Killer's Confession, Colorblind, Convictions, Big Ass Truck, and Bittersweet Revenge. So that's a pretty good lineup for
it is.
Last night, man. It's Lamb of God and Five Finger Death Punch in This Moment. And You know, Kitty. They're on my bucket list now too because I mean that's I gotta go
I
see.
would. I'd like
I'd
to
love
see
to see
them.
Kitty.
I'd like to see them too. Now that they're back out doing stuff.
So that was my contributions to hitting the road. I know there's still a lot out there. So
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yes, yes, there is, and that would be my contribution to hitting the road this week. For the week of the 18th through the 24th, starting off at the PRP.com, we have Initiate and Wisecrack going on a West Coast tour starting March 6th in Vancouver, British Columbia at Green Auto Body, finishing March 14th in San Diego, California at the Che Cafe. Shinedown, Beartooth, Morgan Wade, and Bush. Bush will be on part of the tour, starting April 25th in Des Moines, Iowa at the Wells Fargo Arena, finishing August 30th in Memphis, Tennessee at the FedEx Forum. They will be in Nashville on May 10th at Bridgestone Arena. Bewitcher, Death Chant, and Persecutor are going on a North American tour starting March 14th in San Francisco at Bottom of the Hill, finishing May 17th in Vancouver, British Columbia at the Modified Ghost Fest, and that will be Bewitcher only. Con 8 has announced their first North American shows in 20 years. May 30th in Chicago at the Thalia Hall featuring John Mueller. June 1st in Toronto at Prepare the Ground. And June 3rd in New York at Le Poisson Rouge featuring Mick Barr. Between the Buried and Me and Protest the Hero are going on a U.S. tour starting April 29th in Baltimore, Maryland at Soundstage, finishing May 24th in New Kensington, Pennsylvania at Preserving Underground. Marilyn Manson has announced his U.S. tour. No word yet on any openers. Starting May 2nd in Grand Rapids, Michigan at GLC Live at 20 Monroe, finishing May 25th in Dallas, Texas at the Dos Equis Pavilion. Employed to Serve, Celestial Sanctuary, and Burner are going on a UK tour. Let's see, starting April 21st in Wolverhampton, England at KK's Steel Mill, finishing April 25th in London, England at the O2 Academy, Islington. Queens of the Stone Age has announced a European headlining tour with So Good and Emil and the Sniffers playing select dates, starting July 13th in Vienna, Austria at the Stadthal, finishing August 20th in Dublin, Ireland at the Irish Museum of Modern Art featuring Emil and the Sniffers. Acid Bath has announced their New Orleans reunion shows, the ones that you just talked about, April 25th with I Hate God and April 30th with Exhorter. Both shows are at the Fillmore in New Orleans. Slow Mosa, Cadaver, and Orb are going to Europe, starting October 9th in Krakow, Poland at Hype Park, finishing November 1st in Antwerp, Belgium at Trix. Exodus has announced a couple of Bonded by Blood 40th anniversary shows with Death Angel, April 25th in Berkeley, California at the UC Theater featuring Blind Illusion and Nukem, and April 26th in Anaheim, California at the House of Blues featuring Hyrax and Nukem. The Acacia Strain, Frozen Soul, Gates to Hell, Snuffed on Sight, and Maul are going on a U.S. tour starting May 2nd in Amityville, New York at the Amityville Music Hall, finishing May 18th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at Milwaukee Metal Fest. The two Tennessee dates, May 13th in Memphis at Growlers and May 16th in Chattanooga at the Barrel House Ballroom, but Frozen Soul will not be at the Chattanooga date. Belphegor, Arcona, Hate, and Vale of Panath are going on a North American tour starting March 19th in Boston, Massachusetts at the Middle East Downstairs, finishing April 13th in New York at the Gramercy Theater. Obituary is going on a 35th anniversary tour for their Cause of Death album with Nails, Terror, Spirit World, and Pest Control, starting April 18th in San Antonio, Texas at the Aztec Theater, finishing May 25th in Reading, Pennsylvania at Reverb. They will be in Nashville on May 14th at Brooklyn Bowl. Nine Inch Nails has announced their world tour starting June 15th in Dublin, Ireland at the 3 Arena, finishing September 18th in Los Angeles at the Kia Forum. They will be in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena on September 6th.
Oh, wow.
Darkest Hour has announced a quartet of headlining shows. March 5th in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Launch Pad, March 7th in Dallas, Texas at RBC, March 8th in Little Rock, Arkansas at Rev Room, and March 9th in St. Louis, Missouri at Red Flag. And Jason, you mentioned this a little bit ago. See You Space Cowboy has dropped off of the Devil Wears Prada tour amid disbandment rumors. Ocean Grove will be taking their place. Over at blabbermouth.net, Billy Idol and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts have announced a U.S. tour starting April 30th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, finishing September 25th in L.A. at the Kia Forum. They will be in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena on May 17th. And lastly, Anvil, Don Jameson, and Midnight Hellion are going on an East Coast tour, starting April 17th in Portland, Maine at Gino's Rock Club, finishing May 10th in Flint, Michigan at the Machine Shop. They will be in Nashville on May 4th at, of all places, the Cobra Lounge, which is surprising.
I think I've seen that. I was like, wow, that's
that's
kind
a
of a small venue.
That's a small venue for a band like Anvil, but
Yeah.
it's cool that they're going to be in Nashville. That would be one I would be interested to go see. So
Yeah, except I mean, you're talking about, like I said, the only thing I would be kind of worried about is it being expensive, being that it's not a lot of people can get in there. So, but you know, we'll see. We'll see, I guess. So.
Yeah. But that's hitting the road for the 18th through the 24th.
Hit the road. I'm gonna get me a honker.
Hell yeah.
So, all right, I guess that will lead us into our theme of the week this week.
Yep.
Theme of the week is I didn't tell Chris the whole one. The theme of the week's black and white and sometimes gray. So no, it was not. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, if I knew that would have made it easier on me.
The theme of the week is black and white. Sometimes things are in the gray area, though, I guess.
Yep.
But,
lots of gray area.
My contribution this week is the black side. Sorry. Sorry, I had to. My first one, of course, probably not surprising. It's Metallica "Fade to Black" from Ride the Lightning in 1984. I think we could probably add Blackened in there too if we wanted to, but we'll see how the playlist turns out. So, next one I went with "Trivium Black" from In Waves 2011. "Lamb of God," the Black Dahlia from New American Gospel 2000. Good Friends Contortion, This Blackened River from UZN 2017. Megadeth Black Swan from 2001.
Sorry,
2000.
Yeah. Could have gone with Black Curtains.
Warbringer Black Sun Black Moon from 4 Empires Collapse 2013. Next was Slipknot This Cold Black from All Hope Is Gone 2008.
Nice.
In This Moment Black Wedding from The Ritual 2017. Hell Yeah Black Flag Army from Welcome Home 2019. God Slave Into the Black from Into the Black 2011. Avatar The Black Waltz from The Black Waltz 2012. Straight Line Stitch Black Veil from When Skies Wash Ashore 2008. Nice. Lazarus AD Black Rivers Flow from Black Rivers Flow 2011. Heaven Shall Burn Black Tears from the Iconoclast Part 1 The Final Resistance 2008. Kingdom of Sorrow Buried in Black from Kingdom of Sorrow 2008. Venom Inc. There's Only Black from There's Only Black 2022. Almost Dead Eight Eyes Black from Destruction Is All We Know from 2024, last year. Seven Dust Black from Seven Dust 1987. Upon a Burning Body Media Blackout from Straight from the Barrio from 2016. Children of Bottom Black Widow from Hate Breeder 1999. Motionless in White Black Damas The Fog from Infamous 2012. Extinction AD Black Omen from Faith Killer 2015. Testament Black Jack from Brotherhood of the Snake 2016. Anthrax Black Lodge from Sound of the White Noise 1993. And last but not least, Arch Enemy Under Black Flags We March from Chaos Legions 2011.
Solid. Fucking solid.
My pros or something.
Solid. All right. I'll admit I had a little bit of a tougher time with the white side because almost everybody sings about black, but
true.
I did manage to get up to 15.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so not too bad.
We'll see. I know a couple of white songs, so we'll see if they're
all right, cool. To lead off my part, I went with White Cluster by Opeth off of Still Life from 1999. And since you had Black Wedding, I went with White Wedding by Billy Idol off of Billy Idol from 1982. White Death by Sabaton off Coat of Arms from 2010. White Witch by Sabotage off Hall of the Mountain King from 1987. Soft White Throat by Cradle of Filth off of Nymphetamine from 2004. Symmetry in White by Crowbar off of Symmetry in Black from 2014. Then this one I was like, shit, he may have this one, but you didn't. Black and White by Static X off Machine from 2001. Dead or White by Reset off of Deal With It from 2019. White Knuckle Blackout, so I got white and black on that one. White Knuckle Blackout by Machine Head off of Supercharger from 2001. White God by Candlemass off of Death Magic Doom from 2009. White Slavery by Typo Negative from 1999. And fuck, I didn't type in the album on that one, but that's not that big a deal. Then I had a little bit of trouble. I had to kind of go with album or whatever. Number 12, I had Neverlasting by Sentenced off of their album The Cold White Light from 2002. Then I went with Only by Anthrax off of Sound of White Noise from 1993. So that album got a couple of appearances on the playlist this week. That'll be cool. And then Change in the House of Flies by Deftones off of White Pony from 2000. That's really only the Deftones song I like. I'm not really a fan of theirs. Then lastly, I had More Human Than Human by White Zombie off of Astro Creep 2000 from 1995. So.
Cool. And you actually didn't mention the two White songs that I know, so I'll add those.
Nice. Nice. That always works.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we follow different bands, so it's kind of, it's kind of, I'm sure you could probably find, probably 3 or 4 songs from, stuff you listen to with symphonic or power metal or whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. But,
well, see, the funny thing is, I mean, just with Megadeth, you went with Black Swan. You could have gone with Black Curtains. You went.
Well, because I did that because I always think about the radio station when I do this a lot, because I'm like, I know Black Curtains is on there already, so I'm like, I'm not going to do that because I know it's on there. Yeah. So I'll try to think of stuff new so I can at least add it to the radio station. You know what I mean? So
makes 100% sense.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought process with it. Of course, I don't know how much you've added to it, but I know I've added a lot to it. So I kind of remember some stuff I've added to it. So, or honestly, even when I'm listening, I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I honestly haven't added much in a while, and I feel bad about that. I'm gonna do better about that. I know I need to contribite to that. So that is my on air public admission.
Well, I mean, like there's so much on there now. You're probably never going to hear the same song twice unless you listen. You listen to it this week and then wait a month, maybe. But what I mean? It's like you're not going to. I posted stuff so much on there saying, "Hey, this is what you missed the last 20 songs," on our group page, and like they're hardly ever the same. I mean,
oh yeah.
So even when I listen to it once or twice a week, it's different for me than I feel bad because like I can't pick it up when I'm riding down the road because unless I log into I can't log into the actual stream. Like I log in with my password and everything to listen to it here. I can't do that on my phone. I mean, I guess I could. I don't know, but I don't have the link. So, so if I do it through the Facebook, because it's like pinned at the top of our group page. Mm-hmm. If I do it through there, then it kind of goes on and off because when my phone kind of goes. The background goes, dark or whatever, it pauses. I'm just like, I hate this shit.
That's so annoying.
It is annoying. So that's why I don't listen to it while I'm driving, or I would just listen to it while I was driving because,
it's not like Spotify where if you're Bluetoothed into your radio and your phone goes off, Spotify still plays. So
right. So there is the playlist for the weekly playlist for this week. So just to let you know, like what is on this thing. Like I don't know if you've kind of kept up with what came out this week.
I have,
but
I listen. I actually listened to 5 albums this week.
Did you really? Damn.
Yeah, I listened to one every day this week, leading up to the new album that I listened to for the album review.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I got a couple that I want to listen to after the fact this week too that I've seen. I was like, like once I started adding songs to I already had that one picked out, but once I started adding the songs to like the playlist. I heard a few. I'm just like, oh, I might check this album out. So, so,
Right.
but just to say, just to say, not just talking about this week's releases, just new songs. Killswitch released their second single. I don't know if
Hmm.
you've seen that or not.
I saw that they released a video. I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, Bleed from Within released a new single. Bury Tomorrow. Even Papa Roach is getting in on the shit now,
I
which I
know
don't know
this.
if you're
I
a
know
Papa
this.
Roach fan, but
I know
you know,
Destruction released another
Destruction.
new
Yeah,
album
yeah.
or another new song.
Yeah, Dream Theater, Cradle of
Yep.
Filth, Employed to Serve, Destruction, Traitors, um, and let's see, is that? Yeah, and that's about all of the big name people. But that's like
Yes,
10 tracks of the playlist
I
right
know.
there.
Right.
It's like unreal to think that
Hmm.
they're already starting to pop out, man.
Yeah, they are.
You know, before you know it, we'll be talking about the Kill Switch album. It's like
Yeah, we will. Well, the funny thing is, and there was, and not to jump too far ahead, but because we already mentioned the new Never Fade that comes out this coming Friday, a week from tonight.
right.
Also, the new All That Remains comes out, and the first single that
Yep.
they released was on one of my theme of the week playlists from a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's out there. It's already out there, man.
Yeah. All that hour that remains album is going to be great, man.
I
I
think
can't
it's going
wait.
to be really good.
So it's going to be a lot different than what we're used to seeing the last couple of years
And
for
I
sure.
and I
So,
think in a good way. I do. I
oh
think
well, yeah, yeah. I think they kind of going to get back to basics. So,
kind of like what Bullet for My Valentine did.
yeah, exactly. So, you know, all right. I guess that will lead us up to our album reviews of this week. So,
Indeed, it does.
I will go through. I picked a band called Lost Becomes. They had a new album out called Sonder. The reason I picked this, I remember a couple weeks ago hearing the single that they had with Jesse Leach, and I thought, oh man, this is pretty cool. But then
Oh, okay.
so I was like, man, if Jesse Leach is endorsing these guys, they got to be good, right? So they
Odds
are
are,
from they are from Queens and Long Island, New York. So I guess they kind of do the thing like Rick used to talk about doing. Take the ferry over from Long Island into Brooklyn and stuff. Uh, but uh, but yeah, the current members are. And I got something interesting once I named these members to tell you. This is pretty wild because when I was researching these guys, I'm like, no fucking way. This is great, great little history to this band. But the current members are Brian Sao. I guess it's Tasao. I guess it's Sao. I guess it's T silent. I would think. I don't know. Guitars: Will Gomez on bass, Anthony Kopazzi on vocals, and then Anthony Laparto on guitars, and then Sean Ageman on drums. So that is the current lineup. Let's see here. Let me find this real quick. I had it pulled up here. Oh, what did I do with it? There it is. So this was interesting when I looked up this band. They talk about the guitarist Brian Sao. He's actually the founder of the band. He's also a chef. He was on the Beat Bobby Flay, that cooking show. I guess he was on
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah, and he was also leading the kitchen of Mission Sandwich Social. I think we had a story about that if you don't remember.
I
Um,
don't.
yeah, it was back last year. We'll say I can't remember when exactly it was last year, but I remember talking about that, but I didn't realize that was who it was, of course. But he's actually was leading the kitchen for that, um, and so I thought that was pretty cool. I got a chef and a guitarist uh, doing their thing here. I'm actually going to look that up because I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah, it's actually a sandwich shop in Brooklyn, New York. So,
Nice.
so actually, I guess he was kind of a chef there at one point. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So interesting stuff, man. It's like, anyway, so So they put out their first single in 2020. I don't know when the band actually got together because I couldn't find that much information on them yet. So, but
Hmm.
maybe I'll reach out and we'll find out. Who knows? So,
There you go.
but they put out their first single in 2020. This is the band's second full length album. This one's 10 tracks, 30 minutes, 50 seconds in length. So not very long. I mean, most I think every song on there is around 2-3 minutes. So not too lengthy. Excuse me. Vocally, it definitely screams metalcore, and that pun is intended.
Mm.
So, Anthony Capazzi actually. So because there's two Anthony's in the band. When I was
Right.
like doing this, I thought I wrote it down twice for a minute. I was like, wait, what? But anyway, he definitely has the screams down, and then he sprinkles in some real decent cleans as well, which I like. Of course, metalcore kind of builds off of that.
Yeah, they do.
The cleans and the screams, but it's a lot more screaming to this one than cleans. I will say that. So the drumming's amazing, very heavy, very fast paced. Just awesome drumming, dude. Like I was listening to this, and I mean that's probably the one thing that stuck out to me was the drumming. So, like I said, I always try to find something that kind of sticks out, and to me, it's usually guitars. I mean, it's probably the same with
Of
you too.
course.
I know you listen for solos because you like solos,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
but to me, I'm like, oh man, the drumming. Because like listening to this a second time, I'm like, man, the drumming really sticks out on this. That's some pretty good drumming there. So, hey, do what you can to keep Sean on them drums, man. So, so guitars are also awesome on this one. Some really good breakdowns in there. Of course, like I said with metalcore, that's some of the things you expect. But you really like to me, it's like a timing thing with the breakdowns. It's like you can listen to certain songs, you're like, yeah, it's a good breakdown, but kind of a little early, I think, in the song or something, But
Sure.
everything was pretty much perfect with this one. So, you kind of had the the chorus, and then you know the bridge, chorus, you had all that stuff before you kind of got into the breakdown before the actual ending of the song. So it's all good there. So the only thing I will say, there were some interesting backing vocals on a couple of the tracks that I'm still kind of up in the air about. Even after a couple of listens, I'm just like, man, I don't know what to think about this. It's kind of because
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard anything like it before. So it's kind of piqued my interest a little. I guess it's kind of what how they come up with the way that they done them. Like how I'm really I'm going to reach out to them, try to get them on the show, but we'll see what happens. But love to ask them about that because I'd love to know what made them come up with that concept of the way they did the backing vocals, because some of it's like they're singing and then some of it's like talking while they're singing.
I got
I'm
you.
like, wow, this is interesting. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anything like this before.
I got
so,
you.
and not only that, there was another one too that was kind of interesting too that kind of stood out to me. I'm just like, like it does some stuff I've never heard, which is good. Being as much as we've listened to over the past few years,
Oh
it's
God,
kind
yeah,
of to hear something different. It's kind of like,
yeah,
odd. It's odd at best. So
yeah.
anyway, overall, it's a fast paced, in your face album. So I would say turn up the radio as loud as you can get it, and then rip the knob off of it, and just enjoy it. So so definitely going to give this one four horns. So
Metal echoes all around.
that's right, metal echoes all around.
All right, cool. All right. So, my album review this week is the new album from Martyrion, Gaia Uprising. They are a melodic death metal band formed in Cologne, Germany in 2006. Their lyrical themes, well, the only lyrical theme that was listed for them is post apocalyptic life. They are currently signed to Borsma Records. They are listed as a quartet. See if you can pick out the interesting tidbit here. Tobias Park on drums, Felix Lupke on guitar, lead guitar, Hendrik Franke on bass, and Martin Freya on guitar. Those are the four members listed as current members of the band.
Okay.
Now, uh, if you're expecting me to tell you who the vocalist is, I don't fucking know.
Oh wow,
because
really?
no one is credited with being the current vocalist of this band.
Well, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. Um, which is kind of strange because there are two singers on this album.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Either that or there is some really, really good vocal layering going on. This is the technically this is the band's fourth full length studio album. I say technically because their debut album Refugium Exile, which was released in 2011, was completely re-recorded in 2016 after they joined the label. The debut
Hmm.
album released in 2011 was released independently. Their their quote unquote third album, Our Dystopia, came out in 2016, leading up to Gaia Uprising coming out today. The new album is 10 tracks long, 41 minutes and 16 seconds, with a 1 minute and 24-second, practically musicless intro. So I'm not really sure kind of what they were going for with that. There's birds chirping that kind of leads into like machine gun fire. So it was definitely dark, but like I said, there was like no music to it. So it was an interesting introduction. Like I said, I don't know who the singer is, but at the same time, there are two vocalists. At least there are two vocal patterns. Everything, everything is guttural, as you would expect with melodic death metal. You have some deeper gutturals, and you have some slightly more high pitched vocals, kind of sorta in the Danny Filth kind of vibe, where they're a little more coherent, a little more clear and understandable. Track number 4 has a female who lends some clean vocals. Also, she's not credited, so I have no idea who is singing on this album. I do like that with it being a melodic death metal album. There's a good balance between the melody and the death metal in the composition. Uh, the way the two are put together, you have the interesting dynamic of the two vocal styles. Whether or not it's officially two vocalists, I'm going to try to find that out. But there are two distinct vocal lines because you can tell between the deeper gutturals and the little more high pitched, aggressive, like I say, kind of Danny Filth esque kind of high pitched. So there's two distinct vocal lines for sure. Whether or not they're coming from two vocalists, I don't know because again, no one's credited as a singer. Um, definitely
I'm,
no, definitely no shortage in change of tempo. Any all the way from down tempo to completely up tempo. When it came to the guitar solos, they were a little bit more in the traditional heavy metal vein, which was really nice because they were put together really well. Kind of shreddy, kind of thrashy. Um, like I say, track number four had a little bit of the female vocals. There were some pianos, there were some organs sprinkled in for a little bit of, I guess, ambiance, you could say. Um, you know, but put together pretty well. I'm going to give this one 3.5 horns. This one's one I would listen to again.
cool.
Yep, solid.
I tell you what's crazy is like when I look up that band, I see pictures of 5 members. So
Somebody's definitely
yeah.
singing.
So it looks like, so this is my take on it is they've kicked the vocalist that's on the album out of the band since then. Is
Maybe.
what I'm seeing from what I can tell. I mean,
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Well,
I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me.
the funny thing is, if I'm looking at the same page as you, it shows the past members, and it has one, two, three. It has four former vocalists, and two two of them left the band in 2012.
Right.
One of them joined the band in 2013 and has a question mark on when they left, and then
Right.
the other one just has them listed as a vocalist with
Right.
no dates.
Which would make me think that's the one that they just got rid of. So
You might be right, and I am looking at the picture on their profile, and I do see 5 people on stage.
yeah. So
So someone is, of course, singing. I just don't know who. So it's
which
it's kind
one
of
of
So it's kind of interesting how that has kind of worked out.
Yeah.
So I may do a little bit more digging into that just for clarity's sake. But so it'll be interesting to see kind of where they go from here, especially as far as vocalists go. Because if the vocalist or vocal lists on this album aren't in the band anymore, we'll see what that does to the dynamic moving forward.
So I would say like the Nico guy that's getting that is a pass singer or whatever. I was looking him up on my Encyclopedia Metallum. They said he's a
Mhm.
guitarist in another band since 2023. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if it's like they recorded this before he took off or I don't
Oh,
know. But
maybe.
it says he's a guitarist for a band Anaphylaxis.
Oh, anaphylaxis. Yeah, I do. I
Yeah,
see
so
that.
he's a guitarist for them.
Hmm.
Uh, so I'm not real sure.
It
That's
says
kind of
past bands. Yeah, it
yeah.
says past bands. Martyrion is the
Hmm.
vocalist. So
Yeah, but it don't say the years, so
it
you don't
doesn't.
know if that's yeah. But so
That's a
when you
good
look,
point.
so when yeah, so but when you look him up, it says see also anaphylaxis. Like he's, usually when you see that they're in both bands
Right.
a lot of times. So I don't know. I
Still,
don't.
it was still a weird wrinkle that I noticed when I was doing it.
Yeah, it's just kind of strange. Just see
Yeah,
what this guy says. This guy,
because there's
yeah,
definitely a singer.
he. So the one guy, David Schaefer, was only in the band. Looks like he was only on the two albums in 13 and 16. So he's not listed on anything after that. So it's
Yeah,
definitely not him. So I would think it would, to
must
me,
must
from
be
what I'm looking
neat.
at, it's got to be the Nico guy,
Must
So,
be.
so but interesting though. That is kind of interesting how it's not. They just kind of like fuck it. We're just not going to give nobody
Right.
credit. So,
Yeah.
oh man, it's good. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
well,
Interesting.
it is what it is, I guess. So,
Yep.
so what you want to share about any of the other stuff you kind of listen to, or just kind of a
Um.
brief thing?
Yeah, I can. I
Anything you
can.
kind of liked, or
Yeah. Let's see. Well. Let's see. Well, I did my review from last week. Then on let's see on Tuesday I listened to the album that you reviewed, the Hazard
Mhm.
album, and I thought that was badass.
Mhm.
Uh, then let's see, on the 22nd I
what
listened.
I was
Huh?
going to ask, what did you think about the 9 minute instrumental? I thought it was pretty wild.
Oh, it
Uh,
was it was interesting. It was interesting. I didn't realize it when the first time I listened to it. I didn't realize it was as long as it was because I was
mhm.
driving and I kind of got lost in
Yeah.
it a little bit. But
Well, that's the
yeah,
thing is, I was listening to it and then it was over, and I was like, you know what? I don't think there was any singing in that. It's like I was so into it, I didn't even pay
right.
attention that there wasn't no singing. So,
Yeah, that was
I
actually
mean,
the
that's good that it captivates you like that, though. I guess so.
yeah, yeah. And then let's see, on the 22nd, I listened to Off to the Circus by a band called Captain Kill.
Okay.
I don't really consider that one a metal album, so
Okay.
yeah, that's just my opinion. Then let's see, on the 23rd, I did listen to the new Gravedigger. I thought that was
That
awesome.
was a great album, dude.
Yeah,
I was like,
I thought that
I've
was
heard,
really
I've
good.
listened to that to a few times already. So,
Yeah, and then I listened to that one twice, and then I listened to the Martyrion today. So I got let's see, yep, I listened to my weekly review album on the 20th. Then Hazard on Tuesday, Captain Kill on Wednesday, Gravedigger on Thursday, and Martyrion today. So
oh, nice.
I listened to one brand new album each day this week, which is I'm kind of going to try to stick with that pattern, and I have got to sprinkle in some more EPs. I keep forgetting about those.
So there's a couple of EPs I'm gonna try to listen to this week.
I
So
keep
see,
forgetting about
yeah.
those.
So definitely gonna try a few of those.
Yeah, I got to do better with the EPs. All right, so we are going to look ahead to January 31st. Now, like I say, this one isn't on the list at Heavy
Ooh,
Music
excuse me.
HQ. So I'm going to go a little bit of out of alphabetical order
Right.
real quick. I want to remind you guys that this Friday, the 31st, Thieves in the Night from our
Never
friends
fade. Yep.
Never Fade comes out. So make sure you check that one out. Now, as far as the other ones go, we have Admire the Grim with Resist. We have All That Remains with Anti-Fragile. That's going to be one that's going to be on
Yeah.
my list. Then we have Balefire with a self-titled EP. We have Black Talon with Scenes of Agony. Chain Fight with a self-titled EP. Chris Harms with 1980. The City Is Ours with Will You Still Love Me. Confess with Destination Addiction.
That's gonna be a good one too.
Yeah. Consumption with Catharsis. Dana Fey with Trost. Danny Hart with Slaying Bluebeard. That's an EP. Demon Sacrifice with Under the Black Light of Divine. Drew Cagle and The Reputation with Bad Attitude. We have Florine with Trans Neptunian. Frankenbach with Irrepressible. That's an EP. Garota with, oh, fuck me. Z Meacham Na Guizadi. I'm leaving it at that. I'm not even going to try again. Then we have Garota and Scruda with Churn Palnosi. That's a split EP. Then we have Geo Smet with Geography. Probably geography, but it's Geo Smet with geography. Volume 1. Great American Ghost with Tragedy of the Commons. Grief Ritual with Collapse. Gus Baldwin and the Sketch with The Sketch. Hal Bar with Nemesis. Hawkwind with Live at the Royal Albert Hall. The Helicopters with Overdriver. Hell Hath Fury with From Ashes. That's an EP. We have Hex Yacht with a self-titled album. I Don't Do Drugs, I Am Drugs with I Don't Do Drugs, I Am Drugs. Self-titled album. We have Jay Jail with After Altar. Kelsey Carter and the Heroines with Love Made Me Do It. Kilmara with Journey to the Sun. Cosmosis with a self-titled album. We have Choristus with Milan Ja Malaman Rapio. Lonely Empire with Dawn of the Empire EP. Lunar with Tempora Mutantour. Maceration with Serpent Devourment. Mad Parish with The Dust of Forever. Mephitic Corpse with Sickness Attracts Sickness. Mo with Circle of Giants. Moon Fever with Forever Sleep. Mountain Throne with The Silver Light. We have Nakhash with Eschaton Magics. Naked Whipper with Chapel Defilement. Nest with Wood Smoke. That's a re-release. The Night Flight Orchestra with Give Us the Moon. Pentagram with Lightning in a Bottle.
Nice.
Yeah, Plague of Stars with Extinction, Plastic Drop with Life, Death, and Miracles, Praetorian with Pylon Cult, Pyre with Where Obscurity Sways, Rats of Gomorrah with Infectious Vermin, Relics of Humanity with Absolute Dismal Domain, Repugnator with Foul Transfixation, that's an EP, Rider with Menagerie, Saliva with Revelation Retold, Scruda with Fury Among Ruins, Selvans with Saturnalia, Shrieking Demons with The Festering Dwellers, Scalder with Samsur, Tane with Love, 3 Sixes with Call Me the Devil, it's kind of fitting, Tyran with Tyrant's Oath, A Tyrant's Lament with Offerings of the Inhumane, Usquam with Ex Nihilo, Void of Hope with Proof of Existence, Void Winds with Only Cold Winds Will Carry My Name, The Wave and the Particle with Electric Sheep, Weed Demon with the Doom Scroll, Where the Light Fades with Into the Depths of the Black Creek, that's an EP, Worlds Beyond with Rhapsody of Life, Wrath with Children of the Wicked, The Early Years, Zangoma with Faka Mulilo, and Zero Absolute with Lasagne. So yeah, quite the list. A couple of bigger names on the list coming up. So that'll be something to look forward to. Business is picking up, as good old Jim Ross would say.
Yeah. Oh man, that's pretty wild. It's gonna be interesting to see, Saliva, without. Was that Wayne? Wasn't that the one that passed away?
Yes.
Yeah. Without him in the, I think he was the last like true member, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I believe he was.
Yeah. So it looks like he was. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see, what they sound like with him being replaced. So that's going to be worth checking out just for that, probably. So
yeah, yeah, probably be worth a listen.
All right. Well, I mean, definitely no shortages of things to check out. So hopefully we find another diamond in the rough there. So
we will definitely do some mining. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. So. Okay. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today. If you need to check us out, for one, check out the radio station streaming 24/7. That's stream.trulyradio247.com/8008/stream. Check it out there. Then I'll let Chris run down our socials for you and catch us
Yep,
on
we got
all those.
yep, we got Facebook at yeah, Amy, we're still on. We're wrapping up the show, but you came by just in time to say hi. But yeah, we're actually done. We're kind of doing our kind of doing the outro here. But yep, follow us on all of our social media platforms: Facebook group, Facebook page, X, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube. Follow us on Spotify for all those playlists and the interviews that have been posted. Instagram and TikTok. Email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com.
Cool. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So interesting.
But yeah, thank you to Ari from the Reality Machine for stopping by.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy, for hopping on right before the end of the show. Like, better late than never. It's totally fine. And to the one person who left a comment on Twitch who kind of never responded back. So I mean, we still appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
And thank you to everyone who is watching and will watch. We appreciate every single one of you.
I'm sure we'll be talking to Ari in the future too. So
I have a sneaking suspicion you are correct.
so man. Anyway, so I said hopefully you enjoyed it. Check everything out on Spotify. All of our past interviews. Actually, I have to edit last week's. So hopefully I have that up. I'm usually about a week behind when I have to do the edits. So hopefully it'll be up this weekend. So that should be up. Probably do that Sunday. So just a heads up. So you'll probably see that Sunday for last week's Never Fade episode. And then we will look forward to trying to schedule some more interviews.
Oh yeah,
because we always got miles in the water. We just we can't do nothing but ask, and sometimes some reason the dates don't work out. Then it is what it is. But doesn't mean we're still not going to like put stuff out for these bands.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we start following them on our socials when we invite them, just because I mean, if we invite you on, we think you got a good chance of being here and around the business for a long time, because that's how good we think the album was. So
yes, sir.
So anyway, we will wrap this one up for this week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we'll see you back here for now next Friday at 10 p.m. Unless I get something back from a band saying I can come on next week, then you'll just have to follow us on our socials to see those those advertising updates. So so make sure you're following us on something. I mean, we have plenty of them. We got plenty of them down there, so there's follow us somewhere.
I definitely wouldn't blame you for not following us on everything, but
but I mean, you just pick your favorite one. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do, because everybody doesn't use all of those. I mean,
that's true.
We do because we have to, but it's kind of personally, I don't think you don't even have a personal Twitter, do you? Or X or
actually I do, but I couldn't tell you when I was on it. I do actually.
Yeah. Okay.
But I
know there was one you didn't even have a personal one on. It's just the Metalheads Night. So
I don't have a personal Instagram, and I don't have a personal TikTok. I just have
it's just for the
show only. Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to see the personal stuff, that's me. So
that's right. Yeah.
I'm always posting the stupid videos. So anyway, hopefully we'll see you guys back here next week, next Friday night, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. For now, we'll see. We'll have
always an asterisk.
Always an asterisk. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully we'll see you guys back here next week. Until then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, you guys. Thank you.